Alright. I want to make sure this is live before I go any further. Okay, yes, this time it looks to be live pretty instantly. After, like, turning off the PS5 and stuff, like, after doing another connection test on this weird internet of mine it's like anymore. I don't know. So weird, though. All the inconsistencies just seem to have with internet stuff anymore. Ever since getting some new internet, like the last like few months or so. So weird. Yeah. But yeah, there's no new Rockstar Newswire, but yeah, like per usual, I'm going over the event lead from early Thursday, like per usual, and of course on the last day of Wednesday, which I pretty much knew I shouldn't do because of weird internet troubles like this, but yeah. But yeah, going to the title, one of the things I did mention on the last week's like newswire would be something going on for this event is the 2 times money in RP, basically for the document forgery. Now they say payouts on theirs, it might just be money, but according to the GTA series videos coming post, they also themselves have said 2 times money RP, so that's what I'm going with personally. But yeah, document forgery is an MC business. It's just like the likes of the basically much better weed, counterfeit cash, meth, and coke, like cocaine. Problem with document forgery is it has not seen like a dedicated boost to it, like the last updates Money Front's DLC did for like the weed, like smoke on the water, and like counterfeit cash tied to hands on car wash, for example. Like those two, even right above it, have got dedicated boosts in the last update. And then even from like launched meth and coke were just like much better than the document forgery, technically speaking, money payout wise and stuff. I think the only real benefit that document forgery has is it has like much like quicker times to produce and stuff, as it's not like as good essentially. So yeah, you might be able to make an easy couple $100,000, especially combined with like mansion speed boost in probably like an hour or something, I would probably guess. But again, it's only like a couple $100,000, I think, anyways. So like, doesn't really matter too much, I would say. But yeah, but I only chose that title because it's kind of like a huge highlight thing. They kind of point on the latest Rockstar Newswire for Grand Theft Auto Online. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's the most worthwhile thing to do, though. On the other hand, or whatever, though. Whatever, though. And 3 times rewards for Community Series Showcase. I think I'll basically be done mentioning Document Forgery. I might not spend too much effort, by the way, on some money opportunities just simply because they were kind of on last week's news wire. So if I don't go into as much details, it's kind of why. But yeah, because I could have had things to say on them, of course, the last event. But yeah, I don't know if I said yet, but there is technically new discounts and stuff, and that's why I'm doing another stream, by the way, since there would be discounts to cover. Basically. Basically. See, every time's rewards for the community series showcase, I think they said like last week, and then the 2 after we're going to be on 3 times. So like the 2 times, which is why they said up to 6 times on like the plus event, for example, for that like monthly plus thing. So yeah, I think I said for races, it's like I think it was like 24 or 25k for 3 times. Plus, I think there was like a 50% boost for like all race types. Now, yeah, 37 to 38k. I think that would be. I just think death matches wouldn't be too much different, or if it is, it's like probably comparable to like adversary modes, or like maybe for like an hour of death matching, you could probably make like a couple $500,000 no matter like times of money or something, is what I tend to say for adversary modes. So it could be wildly different, to be fair. It could maybe be more profitable than races, at least like if you're playing with the minimal player count, which in the case of death matches would usually be like 2 players at like a minimum sense. Races obviously you can do by yourself. I usually talk about solo race payouts, to be fair. Obviously more players in a deathmatch probably I would assume equates to more money, especially if you're able to win against say like 16, like 30 players or something. Albeit that's the thing as well, I think payouts do cap at 16 players, I do think as well. So like having 30 or something just kind of ensures you get that max payout easier in the case like people leave or like something. And like the last week, if you complete 5 of the community series jobs, you do earn a $500,000 bonus payout or whatever. Of course, this time will be deathmatch focused, not really race focused. So you will have to play with other players. Just keep that in mind if you don't really tend to do that. And right now, you can claim for free the Coil Rocket Voltic for the vehicle warehouse. So I believe if you do not have a vehicle warehouse right now, you can get the LSIA location for free. I believe they've announced that they'll be doing for last week, this week, and the next week. If you do not yet, for some reason, have a vehicle warehouse. That does, however, require ownership of a CO office first, though. Which I believe was said for last week, this week, and next week will be 50% off of the office if you do not yet have those. There was at one point in time, at least as well, I don't know if they still sell it, but the Colonel Enterprise starter pack or something where you could get like the cheapest office like for free as long as you spent like some form of like real money or something. I forget. I don't know if they like still do that, but that was at least something you used to be able to do if you wanted like a free office as well or something. Plus, I think the newer 9th generation tutorial, I think if you've done that for some reason, you can actually get a free office that way too. So there's quite the ways you can literally make like all of that completely free if you wanted to be completely honest, for the current event. As I said last week, if you have like the cheapest vehicle warehouse, I'd probably upgrade to LSIA because it might fit the DH7 Iron Mule. Because I remember the cheapest location I moved out of it because I didn't like how it worked at the newer DH7 Iron Mule that came out like last year with the Agent Sabotage DLC. So if you for some reason have the cheapest one, I do advise moving out as a reminder to the free LSIA one most likely, if you're not willing to spend any additional money. However, do you have to sell any vehicles you might actually have in there, I believe, as well. As a reminder there. Yeah, the Coil Rocket Voltic, to kind of go over it kind of quick here. I might go more detail later on in the stream, obviously, but yeah. The Rocket Voltic, though, I believe it was the very first like boost, like special ability kind of vehicle that ever existed in GTA Online. Or at least if you're not including like the Vindicator. Or I think first it was the Electro and then the Vindicator. Those are like cruise boost motorcycles. So it was one of the first ones, I believe, like asides for that. So it might be like one of the earliest ones. I think it was the very first rocket boost vehicle for sure though in the game. I said special ability boost might have been the first one there, but that's false. I get kind of proven there. But I know for sure it was pretty much the first rocket boost vehicle in the game. So I think because of that, it does have a longer cooldown on the rocket boost compared to say ones that came out later, like the Vigilante, the Scramjets, Torador, even stuff like that. So it's very much not the quickest rocket boost vehicle, like by a long shot, very much will not be. It is also based on the Voltic, of course, which is known to be one of the worst top speed supercars in the whole game. And again, I mentioned like a couple of rocket boost like supercars alone being like the Vigilante and the Scramjet. Those are also supercars with rocket boosts, and those probably just have a quicker top speed, not being based on sometimes like the worst top speed of the supercar class. Which, yeah, I know because it's the rocket Voltic, it technically changes that. But when you're not using the rocket boost, I assume it's basically like the regular Voltic for top speed, which again is like the worst supercar for top speed, even. So it's not exactly like the greatest. It might even, in my opinion, be like the weakest of the like special vehicles that would be free. Both the ramp buggy and the Phantom Wedge can like both. Yeah, both the ramp buggy and the Phantom Wedge can like get vehicles unstuck. If you say you're on like a business sell mission or something and you need to get a vehicle unstuck, it does that really easily for those two. Whereas obviously this one has like no ramming capabilities whatsoever, since it doesn't have like a ram on the front. The most asked for ramming capabilities is anything the rocket boost could do. Which I mean, like technically it could kind of do some of it too, but again, it does not have a rocket boost on the back of it, so or like I mean, it doesn't have like a ram on like the front of it, like the ramp buggy and the Phantom Wedge. Also, the Phantom Wedge also is usable for stuff like Cayo Perico heist, where you have to steal like the long fin, which is like pretty much the best way to do the Cayo Perico heist. Which, even with the nerfs, if you're willing to just stick with it, it is pretty good for money making still in enough sense, at least. At least, especially if you're not getting it like tequila or something. But yeah. Anything else though? It does also actually give you access to the Ascent VIP work, I believe it's what it's called, I believe. Or something like that. Where basically you have to drive a certain rocket Voltic in the like thing. It has like a bomb strapped to it or something, I believe, and you have to like stay at certain speeds or something. My strategy is I like to go into like casino. I like to be near the casino when I start it, so I get a good spawn near the casino. Then without using a boost, then yes, without using a boost, I do like to go off the highway from the casino, and then I just go on a constant highway until say you get to like the bottom of the map, like the very bottom of the map on that like bridge section. Around there, it should be 10 minutes if you do it correctly, basically. I'll show more of like the route and stuff that I'm talking about. It's just like it does get a little bit confusing when you get to like Vespucci Beach area, but basically you just go through the highway, and so like going off the highway basically. So I think I did describe my method of doing it pretty well, but I might go a little more in detail on that part specifically, more so when I go into the discount section of the stream. It's alright, but I feel it's the weakest one for like free mode gameplay. The best thing about it is the VIP work, I would say, quite frankly. I would say easily the best thing about this particular free one is the VIP work. Okay, and I very much need to check on my stream another time because of problems earlier. Alright, yeah, it's actually working for once. I've tried literally to like finick with settings or whatever. whatever. And as a reminder, there is a limited time St. Patrick's Day collectibles where if you collect 25 Lucky Clover balloons, you get the green Lucky Clover outfit there. And if you find the one Golden Clover one single time, you do unlock the Golden Clover outfit. I think I made it clear enough as long as my body versus the macaroni wasn't being a complete utter bitch when I was saying it, that yeah. You can find multiple golden clovers. Technically, I think it respawns like noon every single. I think it spawns at like noon every single like in-game day or something. I think that's when I kind of started doing my like huge search for it. I think on to like stream in the in-game time. But yeah, it's actually the last day to do that basically since I am streaming this on Wednesday. So hopefully people already jumped on that if they wanted those, of course. And I said that, but I mean both of those things, obviously. We actually covered both of those in their entirety, basically, in the last stream. If you are interested in watching anything like that on my channel for some reason. Honestly, my stream's not necessarily the most efficient way to do that, but I mean, if somebody's interested, might as well, or go ahead, or whatever. Oh my god, I'm literally going to see all kinds of stuff about this until April 24th, 2026, quite literally. You can't even like avoid it even if you go like R1. You can't do L1 to get the story mode. You have to like do R1 to get the plus and then story mode for those invite only lobbies, of course. And a much efficient way to get to those. It's like the third stream now. Strike for your out. I think I'm not gonna really talk more on that because of that then. And yeah, I know strike for your out is like a baseball thing, but hey, it's another sport. It works. It works for what I mean. Yeah, plus free vehicle, it's I mean not crazy. Unless as a un unless it already comes with the HSW on it, it can be a little bit crazy. Otherwise, just to Agents of Sabotage Tier 4. That's a much better way to get the vehicle for free that you don't even need a subscription for. Albeit it does require some efforts if you don't want to grab contents and I guess get plus, but I'd rather do the Agent of Sabotage Tier 4 myself personally, which I did do. Want to buy shark cards for some reason, even though they've been sitting on some things to spend them on for a bit still. Maybe next month they'll finally come out with them though. And yeah, I'm gonna be pretty secretive about it since it's unreleased content, obviously. So I'm not gonna mention anything more on those couple things that still need to come out. Like people can spend some money on. So yeah, that top part again, I think goes for all three of the like events on that one Rockstar News where, like I said earlier. Again, goes for 3 weeks for the office discounts, like I kind of said earlier. First, it would be mentioned on the menu, to be fair. It's probably something for actually having, like, useful information in a sense on there, I guess. But, I mean, when for free events are practically the same thing. It's not that hard to do, I guess, but still. And yeah, once you have that vehicle warehouse, you can store the Coil Rocket Voltic. You have to have a vehicle warehouse for that vehicle. It is not a standard garage vehicle. It has to be stored specifically in the vehicle warehouse only, in the underground storage or whatever. Hence why you need the vehicle warehouse. Unlike a regular rocket, unlike unlike a regular Voltic that can be stored in the garage, this one yeah does require the vehicle warehouse. And yeah, again, this is the last event for these. Next event, these will be gone. Another free week thing on the top for that $1 million just for logging in. Might as well do that, obviously. You still have this last day and the next week to still do that. And the 1.5 million is for that one thing again, where you do like 5 like things that was already on like the main menu at the start. So like I said, right now you have to do like 5 death matches or something basically to do the Fire and Cave for this week, obviously, since it's combat themed. It is apparently a community combat series this week, so you have to do some deathmatch stuff or like PvP stuff this time to get the Fire and Cave for this week. And then it's 5 more races, I think, like the first week for next week on the middle part there. And yeah, if you don't get it right away, it's because you have to wait like 72 real life hours, I believe. It's 3 real life days, so being Wednesday today, that'd be like Saturday, for example, for me if I do it today. Or it'll just happen right after you complete the associated challenge, possibly as well. And get triple rewards and bonus money during the GTA Online Community Series Showcase. Might just be a lot of stuff from like the last week, I'm guessing here. Is that 1 million for the creators only? It might be to get featured on it, I forget. It might be a separate million for them only or something. Like, oh, asides for the login one or whatever. Yeah, free time it's being in the middle and just simply stating that there are things. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier at the bottom about like having to do like the 5 death matches for this week for the 500K for the current week. This week's weekly challenge is 1 free death matches again, as it's combat focused, not race focused for this 1 week, and then it'll be back to the week 1 for the week 3. As I was basically saying, they revealed all those rewards last week, so the huge paragraph at the top is nothing really new to mention. And that is it, basically. Because from there, it's all the day 1 contents for Safehouse and Hills DLC. Yeah, sorry if I'm a bit slow, by the way, but yeah, my phone is kind of like away from me, charging to the side right now. So that's kind of why. That is very much kind of why. But at least my stream is finally working decent enough, at least finally. I technically did 5 jobs, but I was doing some of them at like 1 in the morning and stuff, I think, so like I don't even like know if like I got the 500K or not, honestly. I don't know if I've been on since actually, or not. Like, do you get a pop-up if you get it or not? Because I didn't get a pop-up there. I'm actually not that sure, honestly. I think you're supposed to for those ones, kinda, I think though. She called me the daddy again. She called me daddy again. Let's go. And that one's a chance, not a guarantee like the panel, so always fun to point that one out. Still, honestly, I'm still gonna rep the golden, like, clover outfit thing. I feel there hasn't been much of like a luck theme outfit, honestly, since the high roller, like before this one came out. And stuff on it though, of course, because of course it doesn't, because that's modern day outfits in the game for you. Like the high roller, actually lets me put like the independence outfit, like hat thing I have on, for example, though. But honestly, I might rep this one for a couple weeks, like a couple events or something. It kind of fits the character pretty well as well, I would say.
What's up,
For the
Daddy?
channel, for the channel, of course, of course, of course.
Uh-huh. Anything you want.
Wait, the second time she says something on the panel, it's not guaranteed either. Oh, okay. Uh-huh, anything you want. I think she said instead of like, sometimes she'll just say like, okay, daddy, I think. But like, I think at least the first time you're on the panel is guaranteed, if I recall. I haven't had one time when I get on the panel where it's like not been guaranteed, I think. I may have been messing around and bring mode again if I have the, like, press my 2 out, I'm guessing. Or wait, no, I was doing the, no, that would have been on stream actually, where I was using it for, like, the golden clover. That's where I think on stream I was actually using one too, actually, for once. Oh shit, it's not at sports vehicle, let me get that, actually. Wait, that took off my outfit? What? Okay, nah, fuck that shit. I'm putting on my regular YouTube outfit then. Fuck that shit, bruh. How is the older breed of clothing so much better than the newer breed of clothing with like how it actually like functions and stuff in GTA? It's actually fucking ass backwards as fuck, bro. Shouldn't the clothing be like less restrictive as the game gets on, not more restrictive as the game goes on? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You're telling me just going in that took the outfit off of me? Like, no way, man. No way, man. I thought you were supposed to be. I thought you were supposed to be going like traditional aircrafts with like the outfit. I know the jetpack doesn't let you, but I felt like other aircrafts are supposed to let you do that though. Like helicopters, I mean. I don't know, maybe the Sparrow does it too. I forget. But that's so ass backwards. You'd think the newer clothing would be the less restrictive clothing, not the other way around, where like the older clothing is the one that actually gives you a lot of freedom. I feel it's like a consequence of them being like the career progression stuff, which is some like themed outfits for some characters that they don't want to be like customizing too much, like Yusuf's outfit, for example, or something. That they kind of want, like being pretty like set in stone, using accessories, all that kind of stuff. So I feel it's like a side effect of that. It's obviously a St. Patrick's Day outfit. I don't think they care that much what you wear with that. I don't know, it's still weird ass backwards though. Okay, gun ban is over there. I'll go for it later, I think so. Wait, did I do that? I was carting instead of the dogs. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Alright. Whatever, no. I have to hold it before it disappeared, but of course I started doing it like right before it disappeared. Probably because my fucking body burst stomach or anything, the other bitch comes and he's like, I broke one of the backlights, somehow, bro. Of course I did, of course I did somehow. I was technically using Mark II's my latest vehicle, I think, because I'm going for collectibles last stream. I only did it for the golden clover. I actually used a terabyte for the like the green ones, obviously, since there's so many of them, and to give better guidance on it or something. Kind of basically. I even took terabyte up Mount Chiliad, even though I was that dedicated to do it, even. For those green ones, of course. For those green ones, of course. Should probably check my stream again, just in case. Of course. Yeah, stream working still, it seems. Good. Yeah, sucks right now. I'm charging my phone, so I can't exactly like look at it as conveniently. It might take me like a minute or so, or half a minute or whatever. A few seconds, obviously. So I am going to use the Mark II compressor just because it was technically the last vehicle I used on the stream. I'm pretty sure. I'm still in the reorders. I'm using it at the beginning of this one. It makes it nice for me to get around the map as well. Oh yeah, sorry, I found the gun van. Let me actually go over that next then. I assume the gun van contents change, at least for the week as well. I don't know, I don't think it would stay the same each of the 3 weeks, unlike some of the other contents.
Hey there. That's new stock.
Cause yeah, I think last time I had like Mark II weapons, I believe. I don't think last week had the all strippers, so yeah, I'm pretty sure the contents changed here.
You can trust that rifle.
So that is something we need to go over. Which just shows why I'm doing another stream for GTA, because of the rivets and so on. Things actually can change, even in a event that's piggybacking off of last week's news wire. There is enough changes to warrant doing another stream on like Reddit, for example. Unlike Reddit, for example.
That kind of rifle speaks for itself.
Huh, wait, hold up. According to the not the Rockstar Newswire. Again, my bad, I didn't do a new Newswire like I said, but according to the GT Series community post, it looks like it's 40% off of all weapons, which is 50% off of Plus members. So I guess every single weapon this time has like a discount, I guess. Usually it's only like 1 or 2 weapons that have a discount. One will be for the subscription, one will not be, but it's all weapons. It looks like this time has some level of discount. It looks like according to the GT Series community post right now.
You can trust that rifle.
So I don't know if that means I'll necessarily go over extra details on each weapon, like I kind of tend to do for the discount ones, or like what.
That was only released a little while ago.
Yeah, the battle rifle kind of sucks, honestly, not gonna lie, when it's like 20 ammo without extended clip, only 30 with an extended clip, which is the same amount as like some weapons have without an extended clip, even for 30 ammo. But it does have something secretive to it. It is actually like a different caliber bullet, and it's actually the best stealth mission assault rifle. So this is the assault rifle you should use for stealth missions. It basically does 2 bird, 1 stone headshots in a stealth mission, just like a sniper rifle. So it's actually the best one for a stealth mission. So it's actually better than what people claim it is. It is actually a better, much more useful assault rifle than a lot of people will claim it is. But yeah, it's also pretty niche use, I will say. So it does have its use, but it does mostly suck for the other ones. I will say, not gonna actually lie there. But it does have its unique purpose. It does have its unique purpose. I also believe this is a gun ban exclusive. I believe it's not ammunition or the agency. I believe you have to get the gun ban. I believe yes, you do have to get the gun ban.
Won't find that in ammunition. Ha!
And then the Tackle SMG. I think this particular one actually was in last week's event, I believe, if I remember right. But it's basically the best drive-by weapon for most vehicles in the game. With 60 rounds versus AP pistols for 6 rounds. That's plus 24 rounds for the AP pistol, which is absolutely insane for the ammo count for a drive-by weapon. Just know if you're using more interesting vehicles like the side seats of like helicopters, the Phantom Wedge, that will be on free discount I think next week, for example. There is certain vehicles where you can actually use like RPGs, assault rifles, sniper rifles, all kinds of crazy drive-by weapons. So it depends heavily on what vehicle you're in. Certain vehicles do provide you with some better drive-by weapons, depending on like what seat you're sitting in. But in most vehicles, this will be the best drive-by weapon to use basically in the game. Unless it's like a very special seat of a certain vehicle or something. This one is also a gun van exclusive, being released in San Andreas Mercenaries. This one's Chop Shop. These two are definitely gun van exclusives.
That one's brand new. Just hit the market.
After that is the heavy rifle. This one I think is actually an ammunition, the agency, and the gun vans. I think all retailers actually hold the heavy rifle for this one particular week. Otherwise, it's usually just ammunition or the agency. But it came out in contracts, so no, it definitely came out with the agency, DLC, and with the armory. With the armory feature. What's that agency? Like, or the armory, not the armory though. Or whatever. Not the new armory, I'm talking about the old armory, but I think the new armory has anything that the old armory did, but not any gunman exclusives, unfortunately. Fortunately for the Logistic Hills DLC one.
That kind of rifle speaks for
Yeah, the heavy
itself.
rifle has 60 rounds. It does work pretty good as an all-rounder assault rifle, I would say. I think this one prioritizes damage over fire rate. You usually want fire rate on the assault rifles. You might want to go more like the service carbine, or even like the Elf Strickler or something over the heavy rifle. Or you could even substitute the Elf Strickler with like even a military rifle, even if you wanted to. Even if that one has like 15 less ammo, it's not a measly pretty, at least like the battle rifle is.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
Yeah, it was a cool beta weapon that got cut from the story mode, unfortunately, but yeah, it got repurposed into the contract DLC for G-Town on back in like winter 2021. It was pretty sick to see it actually come back after being cut. Really, really cool. But yeah, has the cool families finish on it, which I do like. But again, I think it prioritizes damage over fire rates. You might just want to go something like a service carbine instead or something, which is actually also technically I think on older retailers as well. Or you can even build it for free for the crime scenes, and you do like 5 of those I think as well, and it becomes like a free weapon if you do it that way. Even besides for possible attachments,
that kind of rifle speaks
as well.
for itself.
So there's definitely better assault rifles, I would say, but this one's pretty good and reliable as well, I would say, if you want to use it.
Only sold by yours.
Elf Strickler is a gunman exclusive. I think it's also the latest weapon released in the game. We haven't actually had a new weapon for like a whole year now at this point. But yes, this game has actually not received a new weapon for literally a whole year at this point. I think Elf Strickler is the latest new weapon. Albeit it's not even a new weapon, it's based on
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
Even though, yes, it's not even a new weapon, it's based on the military rifle that came out in the Kyle Prequel Heist DLC. It's just based on the military rifle, so it's not even a true new weapon. It's literally like just a weapon we got, basically. But yeah, it has blue flashlight, which is very unique for a cosmetic blue flashlight. Comes with the scope, extended clip, it technically comes with that, even though it doesn't have any, like the UI of the weapon wheel does have an extended clip, since it's obviously a military rifle, it's 45 rounds, and that's what the extended clip military rifle has. I think it has like 5 meters of extra lock-on range. It's actually the best one to use in like player versus player combat, I would say, since you have the extra 5 meters of lock-on range. It is also only on the newer platforms, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PC, and hands. It's only on
that kind of rifle speaks for itself.
Not on the legacy platforms whatsoever, or at least for owning it in free mode. It's not. I don't know if it was in like the survival thing or whatever they came out with like last summer or something. I think it was like the Kyle for the like zombie survival thing, whatever. It has blue tracers for the bullets. It has blue tracers for the bullets as well.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
And unlike tracers for Mark II, unlike yes, the tracers of the Mark II weapons, there's obviously 9999 ammo. So you have unlimited tracer ammo basically for the all-strickler. It's not like the Mark II where they restrict you to like a couple hundred of them, even though they're just tracers. And those ones actually only activate every 3 shots I hear as well. Whereas
Trust me,
every single shot where there's a tracer bullet. But yes. Tracer rounds are much more executed better on the all-strickler versus obviously the Mark II weapons. Apparently it's like every 3rd shot, and not every shot I think is a tracer in the first place. Kind of dumb for just a cosmetic thing that just helps you shoot easier. For the most part,
That kind of rifle
so at least the
speaks for
all-strickler
itself.
remedied it a bit, at least. And yeah, Gunman doesn't have Mark II weapons ever, so it's obviously a pseudo Mark II. It's kind of like a pseudo Mark II, whereas like Mark II stuff, it's actually a Mark I weapon, basically.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
It's pretty much one of the best assault rifles to use if you're on a platform that actually has this weapon, of course, so if you actually have it, it's actually pretty good. The only downside is you don't get the suppressor. There's no suppressor for the all-strickler like there is for the basic military rifle. Otherwise, they're basically the same weapon, except this one's just better, has all the bells and whistles, aside for not having the suppressor.
Trust me, you can trust that rifle.
So literally the only thing this is not good at is stealth missions. Just don't use it in a stealth mission. It doesn't have a suppressor to it, like, at all. Final last 2 are other retailers, the compact EMP launcher.
You want a signature style? That right there is a signature style.
The compact EMP launcher, yeah, is at another retailer, aka the agency. So while it's not at Ammunition, it is at the agency, like permanently, I believe, for the like criminal, not the criminal enterprise one, but the contract DLC one, obviously, like I was saying earlier, for the heavy rifle or whatever.
Now that right there will make an impression.
But yeah, sides for the gun van, this is always available at the agency, like Armory, or even the new Armory, or I'm sure you can get the new Armory, of course, with the Safehouse and the OS DLC as well, for the Mansion Armory. The EMP stands for electromagnetic pulse. It shoots electromagnetic pulse grenades.
Do it once, do it right?
Which will stop vehicles basically altogether for like a few seconds. Electric vehicles do get out quicker, I believe. Electromagnetic pulse electric vehicles, I think, do get out quicker, I believe, on those. However, though, but it's not airburst, it's in the form of grenades. They can't really hit aircraft, so unless they're like flying pretty low and stuff like that.
You want a signature style? That right there is a signature style.
And also, the only weapons that get disabled, I think, are the buzzer attack choppers. Literally every other vehicle in the game has the weapons not directly tied to the engine, and apparently any weapons on anything but the buzzer will still work, so be aware of that when you do use it. It's not going to disable weapons on, like, 99% of vehicles in the game. All vehicle weapons will still work on those, despite being shot for just a few seconds.
Now that right there will make an impression.
By the EMP or whatever. Last update also got a buff as well where it could actually EMP the RC vehicles and kick people out of like RC vehicles, which is a huge buff to be fair. And actually did increase the usability of this quite a bit, I would say. In those niche circumstances. I don't assume people actually use RC vehicles that much after that change.
Do it once, do it right,
unless they're like really dumb, I feel, in PvP or something, but yeah. It is usable as a drop-out weapon on a motorcycle or boat, I believe, as well, since boats use the same drop-out stuff as motorcycles. Aside for the biker melee, I think it's the only thing those wouldn't have for boats, I think, or motorcycle drop-out stuff. I think I mentioned just about anything I can think of there, really.
That right there is
it's too bad it's not airburst limited ammo like the up and atomizer. That would make it like so much better if it was, though. And it actually also is different ammo than the combat grenade launcher, since those are regular grenades versus EMPs, so yeah, they do have separate ammo counts. You can't really do like a gun locker trick either with them, by the way, Finally, last but not least, for the primary weapons here is the precision rifle. So the precision rifle, I actually don't run that in my weapon wheel. I will show, actually. Go over that later still, by the way, on those towards board, but yeah. I run the sniper rifle, the heavy sniper Mark II, and the Mark II rifle, but I actually do not run the precision rifle. Even though it's the latest, even though it is, yeah, the latest sniper rifle edition in the game, it would maybe think would be like the greatest one. It's kind of not. Yes, it locks on the characters like the Mark II rifle Mark II does, I believe, the precision rifle. This one you do need a holographic sight, I believe, allows you to get that lock on for the Mark II rifle Mark II, but yeah. Mark II rifle Mark II is like a semi-auto fire rate, I believe, or something. Or whatever. Not necessarily good. Not necessarily great as like gun terminologies. I know snipers have like slower rates of fire, basically, though, usually. But yeah, yes. I think precision rifle is like a worse rate of fire than even the Mark II rifle Mark II, to where it wouldn't be really worth using over that for a lock on. And yeah, the main thing about it is precision, which yes, it does very much have precision, but literally a pistol has precision as well. In assisted aim lobbies, a pistol have pretty much as much precision as a precision rifle would have anyways, along with like 99% of like weapons in the game, or like 90-ish% of weapons in the game at least, or the ones that are actual guns, not like throwables and all that kind of crazy stuff in these two categories primarily. But yeah. So yeah, precision rifle unfortunately is just not really that good. Has no attachments either, so can't even like make it any better, which just shows how bad it is when it has no attachments you can put on it like whatsoever. So I just put in the gun locker.
Fresh out of the box.
For those that don't know, any like sniper rifle uses like regular ammo does actually get unlimited basically every time you're in like a new lobby. If you swap to a new session, you basically get like a full thing of ammo again, as long as you have like one sharing the same ammo type in the gun locker. I don't know if it's intended like that, if it's like spaghetti code in the game that's something up with that, or like what. Yeah, if you have ammo glitches in the game that like remove your ammo, just put like something in the same ammo type in the gun locker, and it should actually remedy it and just basically give you ammo instead of taking it away from you randomly. But yeah. And the one I recommend putting in the gun locker for a sniper rifle case, yeah, is the precision rifle. I don't know if I'm explaining it the greatest per se here, but I'm trying to move on with the stream, so I don't want to go into greatest detail, like in-depth detail with it per se. But yeah, I think I explained it good enough, honestly, anyways, at this point. Yeah, this one is all the retailers, by the way, the ammunition, the agency, and yeah. The gun lock, not the gun locker, but yeah, the gun ban for this particular week. Yeah, it's always the ammunition or the, like, it is, yes, always at the ammunition or the agency, like Armory or Mansion Armory, but as well. And that's the latest update. But for this particular week, it is also, yeah, the gun ban. But yeah, apparently all these are 40% off or 50% off plus for this one particular week. According to GT Series videos that can be posted, that's apparently how it's going down this week. Where usually it's like one or two that are on like a discount, one being subscription, one not being subscription. Throwables this time around is the pipe bombs for the Bikers DLC.
Goes off guaranteed every time.
In the GT series, I believe they were originally in the Grand Theft Auto 4 Bikers DLC, the Lost and Damned DLC, back in the GT 4 days. So it makes sense how GTA 9 return its Bikers DLC. And this is basically a very good try-by throwable. Because yeah, the stick bombs usually can blow up on you.
Primers included.
The stick bombs will usually just blow up in your hand via AI NPC or something they shoot like around your character. The AIs have very pinpoint accuracy even compared to like actual players. in certain cases, I'll see sensor AI, artificial intelligence, all that kind of stuff. So in those cases, you do want to use a pipe bomb
You
over
want to
a
make a
sticky
bang?
bomb.
That'll do it.
So in those cases, like for contact missions and stuff, where you need to not get blown up and stuff, like when you're using like a robo, like drawback robo, you do want to use a pipe bomb instead of like a stick bomb, for example. So it's probably one of the best drawback robos I would say in the game for a pipe bomb for that
Goes
reason.
off guaranteed
For that
every
reason.
time.
Sticky bombs, again, the weakness of them is they do blow up in your hand when you hold them. And the AI will especially hit those easily in like a contact mission or something. So be aware that if you do use them during like contact missions or any like, sort of mission where you have like AI shooting at you or something, don't use it as a drawback weapon for that reason.
Primers included.
However, it can always blow it up whenever you want. However, if you use it like on foot and stuff, you can always blow it up whenever you want, even when you're in like a car. So like, it has a very good utility, being able to blow it up whenever you want with like a left on D-pad. And it's also actually a true utility for robots, since you can also use it to blow up armored
You want to
truck
make
doors.
a bang? That'll do it.
You can also blow up armored truck doors and make it a true utility for robo by blowing up the armored truck doors for some cash for that free mode event thing, whatever. Finding proximity mines were at an Festive Prize DLC back in like 2014, like one of the very original Festive Prize updates, if not the original one even.
Goes off guaranteed every time.
And as the name does suggest, it does like as yes, the name does suggest, it does like blow up within proximity. So you can use it as a very effective anti-grief tool or something if you use it correctly, since it blows up within proximity, especially for like a griefer chasing you.
Primers included.
Especially with like a creeper chasing after you when you're grinding like a cell mission or something, if you're in like a land vehicle with like no armor or something especially. Or some people even go on like the Mark 2s and even use them like on the road. People like that are fun to trick with the proximity mines for sure. Some reason people on Mark 2s will just do that for some reason, since they lack some intelligence, I guess, but yeah.
You want to make a bang? That'll do it.
And no, I'm not a Mark II hater. I actually enjoyed a Mark II. I think it got over-nerfed to oblivion to where it's not anywhere near as fun to use. I usually even use Mark I over to Mark II for that reason nowadays. But yeah, I'm just saying it's what it's good for, basically, is what I'm saying. If I only have your armor, that's basically it.
Don't even worry about it.
Armor does look to be on a discount right now as well. But yeah, it said 40% off all weapons for the commune post. I guess that includes the armor and probably the robles as well then. So that is in fact what's going on for this week, it looks like.
You didn't see me.
Looks like. Alright, stream's still working, looks like so good. Good. So now I do want to make it over to the casino finally, like I intend to do. Gun ban just kind of ended up coming across my way, so I just want to do the gun ban first before I go to like the casino area to go over to time trials, premium race, as well as obviously the podium vehicle. Aside from the LS Tour Sport, I'm never gonna mention that. I still have to go over that, of course. Guess I'll just go over that usual spot. Why not? But yes, so. Um, so yeah, I think I was going to just go over all the store support, I guess, in the usual spot, I guess. Why not? So I guess I can go over to time trials. What I want to try, instead of like going over them, like showing the images and stuff, I might want to try like going on the GT series videos screen posts and just mention what they all are and kind of stuff, so I can maybe get through it a little quicker this particular stream, I guess. And so I'll see it's kind of like using the same news wire, but like barely anything changed, because that's kind of the fact. And plus, they hinted at things that were going on already for the event, or already for the event. Wait, did they not mention RCB and Dito time trial in this thing? Or like, what though? What though? Well, actually, that one does change by the day, and Chunk Energy does as well, so I guess it makes sense that they don't. Okay, never mind. I was just do the old thing with the time trials. Never mind, never mind then. But yes. For those wondering, the semi-weekly regular time trial is Route 68. Yeah, I like the term of semi-weekly. I couldn't really, like, think of it a term before, but yeah. Part-time of 1 minute 19 seconds. And the reason semi-weekly is because I think you get a daily 50k payout on these, but it doesn't change, like, each day, like the RCB and Data Chunk Energy ones do, or whatever. Yeah, when San Andreas Mercenaries DLC came out, I believe like the RCB and Data and Chunk Energy ones were daily. RCB and Data were made daily, and then Chunk Energy was just always daily since those just came out, San Andreas Mercenaries, and that's the last stuff that really changed the time trials, really, I think. I think. Like mechanically or whatever, yes. So yes. See, it's semi-weekly in the fact that I think it's the same time trial each day of the week, but it is still kind of like a daily thing with the daily 50k payout. I think there's a daily 50k payout for it for 7 days a week for 350k up to. But yeah, I primarily would recommend using some motorcycles. If not, I would recommend like supercars or sports cars. And being Route 68, I feel is actually a kind of nice straight road, or one where you can actually get some nice top speed. So top speed actually might work, at least in the first moments of it, and go this way. Once it gets to like here and stuff, you might kind of more actually want the lap time. Which I don't know, maybe that would be enough to warrant lap time over top speed, like most of them do want lap time over top speed, since most race courses, time trials stuff would actually have lap time over top speed. At least for regular time trials, at least for regular time trials. So yeah, motorcycles, if not supercars or sports cars, as I'll get into later on in just a little bit. And then RCB and Dado time trial for day Wednesday here looks to be Cemetery. With a 1 minute 20 second power time exactly. And for these, as the name implies, you can only use one vehicle of, yes, the RCB and Dado. So for these, you want to learn to turn corners naturally, either through like holding triangle while an Xbox or KMPC for the respawn mechanic, obviously, if you mess up turns corners to the point where you have to be over to part-time, you're going to need to like respawn and try it again and again and again. Or of course, I will simply look up a video guide and hope like there's good advice on like certain video guides out there on like YouTube, on YouTube or something. But yeah, this particular Wednesday here is Cemetery. On to the weekly HSW time trial. This one is fully weekly still, I'm pretty sure. It is HSW East Vinewood. So HSW East Vinewood is actually the very first of 8. And yeah, it was actually my last time using the HSW Vapid FMJ Mark V, but the time trials actually lines up perfectly now, compared to like last update, I think, where it didn't line up perfectly. But for some reason, like some multi-time like event, I think it was the free-week holiday event, it kind of like lined up again for like this update. During this update, it was a free-week holiday event, and now like the HSW tech charts actually aligned perfectly once again, I believe. So I am in fact using the P-Fister Astral. So I am in fact going to be using the P-Fister Astral starting with this stream for like the next couple months for these HSW time trials, which is the latest addition for the HSW subclass. So yeah, these will only be available on your PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, or PC enhanced platforms. Those are the only platforms that support this, or any HSW vehicle even for that matter, for this feature. Now, as you may notice, there's no part-time in this one. That's because you have to be in an HSW vehicle to get a part-time, so it's kind of based on what vehicle you're in. Unlike, say, a regular RCP deal, where it's like set in stone for part-time regardless of what vehicle you use. And even for the one that I'll be going over after this as well. But yes, so for the HSW subclass, it can further divide up into 3 subclasses, being Class C, Class B, Class A. Now, at least for my Class C, it's the ones that start with C for class, being compacts and coupes. And there's only 3 of those total, actually, with the Brios RA, HSW for compacts, and then, yeah, it is the Uberbox Sentinel XS, I believe, for 1 and 2 coupe HSWs, and then the other being the NS Euro 632, X32, X32. And then Class B is muscle cars, SUVs, sports classes, and off-road. I'm just mentioning more subclasses, you know, because like from there it's like 10 plus vehicles. Off-road did get added later on though for the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC onwards during the HSW Monstrosity and San Andreas Mercenaries DLC, followed by the HSW Fireball ASP, the one that's in the plus right now, for example, for last winter's Agents of Safehouse DLC. And finally, Class A is the classes I was mentioning basically for regular time trials. Why I recommend those ones, since they're basically best classes for land vehicles in the whole game. Not counting like boats or like air vehicles primarily, especially those are the ones that tend to be the quickest in the game, I would say. And this time around I'll mention it as sports cars, supercars, and motorcycles. Because it doesn't matter as much what order you do for those, obviously. On an HSW versus like regular time trials, where certain types will have different advantages, or enough more advantage or something. I mean, it's kind of the case when HSW Octo Drive is just, like, no doubt the best option for HSW Octo Drive if you don't crash into anything, of course. But, yeah. And yeah, this one's very straightforward in the very first one. I don't really think there's much shortcut potential. If there's shortcut potential, it's like pretty much at the way beginning, like where that like, kind of park was. Or is, whatever, I think. Where it kind of ended the stream at, because that's where I got like Gold Clover at in the last stream, basically. So it's kind of in that like parkish area, kind of like to the, like, the east of it, pretty sure, right? Yeah. Yeah, the east of that, like that road to the east. That road would probably be the one area you could really get shortcut on. Besides that, it's pretty straightforward, just due to GPS route being the very first one. It's also going to be very straightforward. And yeah, for the two newest options, for those wondering what you could kind of use for the latest update, it was HSW Vapid FMJ Mark V, the one I was using for the last like 8 weeks. That's pretty much the number one top speed. That is actually pretty much the number one laptop and number one top speed for the supercar class. For both of those metrics, yes, pretty sure. So that was a very good new option. And then the one I'll be using starting today is P-Fister Straw for the next 8 weeks. Is actually the true latest new addition for the Safehouse and Neil's DLC for the trip feed. Unlike the Vapid FJ Mark V, which was day 1 of this latest update. And that one is sadly second place in laptop as well as third place top speed. It wasn't really a very revolutionary option. Trismo Classic HSW on screen on the thumbnail actually is a better laptop than the P-Fister Strong in the same class. And it's behind both that and the Sterling GT for top speed. So it's going to be kind of an interesting one, I guess, to use for the time trials. It kind of will suffer a bit compared to the other two sports classes in top speed. And HSW actually prioritizes top speed, so I'm kind of questioning if it will be an easy one to use or not on these time trials. Regardless, I will be using it for like the next 8 weeks. Being the latest edition. And quite frankly, I don't have that many, like I haven't used like left in the game at this point, so obviously that will be why kind of every reason just points to me pretty much needing to use that one. And then going into Junk Energy Time trial for the day of Wednesday. Once I actually truly find it. Okay, it's over here. My bad. It looks to be Alta. So the advice on this, by the way, will be largely similar to the RC Bandito time trial. Even has the same part time accuracy of 1 minute 20 seconds. But as long as you don't fall off the bicycle, go where you go, maximize on your curse boost, since yes, you have to use a curse boost bicycle, aka the inductor or the junk energy inductor. You cannot use BMX or any of the race bikes and 2013 bicycles, so those are not usable. It has to be one of the two with the curse boost. And I say two, but they're basically the same vehicle. One has a livery, one does not. The default one is a livery junk energy, one being a junk energy time trial after all. But I think you can bring your own regular inductor as like a secondary vehicle, but unless you want to make them like different, who really cares to do that, really? And if for some reason that advice does not work, obviously I'm just going to recommend like a video guide, like I did for RC Bandito. So it's largely similar advice with the lesser, like a very small vehicle pool to use for that reason, obviously. And finally, it is going to be the Premium race, which is for the motorcycles class this time around. So, yeah, the only HSW motorcycle is going to be the HSW Octal Drag, which I think makes it the only platform exclusive motorcycle. The original vehicle was in the Bikers DLC, so I know that's in the 8th gen version for the non-HSW version. Unlike some other ones where like, the regular weapon segments, for example, is like a 9th gen exclusive. Even without the HSW even. So the HSW Hotshot Drag is basically the best one to use if you're on a newer platform, especially for lap time, and lap time is the more important metric of the two usually. So most likely if you're on a newer platform you'll want to use the HSW Hotshot Drag. Otherwise, it is actually the number 2 top speed. It's actually beaten by the Western Reaver. So if it is a top speed course, you're probably even going to want to use the Western Reaver even on the current platforms over the HSW Octal Drag. But again, lap time is a lot more important of a metric. It's unlikely you'll be needing top speed more than lap time, but in case you do, the Western River is actually better than needing to just step out to drag. For 8th gen options, I'm pretty sure it goes to the Power Surge, followed by like the Hawktail Dragon, like the Shotaro, or one of those two in like some certain order. I know the Power Surge is something below the drag for number 2 top speed, or I'm in number 2 lap time, not top speed. Number 2 top speed is the HSW drag, though, again, as a reminder. So that's a reminder. If I didn't say it, I basically suggested it now. And other top speed options besides for the Reaver and the HSW drag, I think includes the Manchester Scout, the Manchester Scout, and the BF400. And yeah, the BF400 motorcycle as well, I believe. I think that covers everything basically that you would probably most likely want to be using on a premium race for the motorcycles class. Because these are races you have to pay money to do, and if you're in like the top 3, I think you either equal out on your money or get like some level of profit on them or whatever. So obviously you only want to be using like the best of the best anyways on those. Stream's still working? Okay, good. Good. I do want to go on Ruffy 152's vehicle spreadsheet just in case, make sure I was going over the right stuff. I was going over like what I remembered and the stuff really. But I'm pretty sure I got it all correct, I believe. Alright, yeah, it is in fact a Hawktail drag over the Shotaro. It is in fact a regular Hawktail drag, the non-HSW one over the Shotaro for that time, like I thought. And yeah, the top speed ones I was right on. The top speed ones I was correct on as well if you didn't want to use like the Western River for some reason on legacy platforms as well or whatever. So I got all the vehicle price right on that. I just ended up remembering all that because I do remember motorcycles quite well at this point for what I go over. From Ruffy 152 spreadsheet, even if I'm not directly looking at the spreadsheet. But yes, So anything else I wanted to go over here? I'm trying to remember like a size for the usual. Oh yeah, since it is motorcycles, it is good to know like which ones work better for like what kind of like usage of them, or whatever. So yeah, most motorcycles you actually want to do backwards on the stick, as if you're doing like a wheelie, basically. Most motorcycles benefit the greatest from that, so like doing backward on your stick, putting it like towards your body on the other hand, basically, for what I mean by backwards on the stick. So like on the dual sense, it's like putting it towards like your microphone button, for example, for like the left stick. But yeah, 90-ish% of motorcycles, like most of them in the game, work that way, where that would be the best way to use it for a motorcycle. Others benefit more from stoppies, but not that many. Only like a couple of them, I think, do. And I think there's like a couple where you can do it either way, and it's like basically equal either way. As long as it's not in like the neutral position of your stick, I believe. Or something. So I think like the Nightblade might be one of you. I don't think it's really that relevant for performance. Along with like the drags, the Hotshot Drag, regular, and HSW version. You want to do forward on the stick as if you're doing a stoppie. I think ATVs work the same way, by the way, for that. Yeah. And then I think in particular the Power Surge and the Shotaro, I think you can do either forward or backwards as if you're doing a stoppie or wheelie. For like the best performance you can get out of those. And yeah, when I say forward on the stick like a stoppie, like that's putting the stick towards like the touchpad on the DualSense, for example, since obviously said the other one was pointing towards like the mic button. In like a straight line or something, obviously. Any I didn't mention, I think, are just backward on the stick as if you're doing like a wheelie. If I didn't like mention them particularly by the name or something. Alright, now what is lap time and what is top speed? Lap time is turns and corners in a city. Most races are going to be very reliant. Most races in the whole game will be heavily reliant on your lap time over top speed. Top speed is a lot more niche though, which is like your highways. Like I was kind of mentioning for like Ascent earlier, it's kind of like highway areas like that. Airport runways. But yeah, my vice versa is basically, yeah, like those highways, airport runways. And then airstrips, technically including the Top of Hills one. From last winter's Agents of Sabotage DLC that added that in the first place. I doubt any Rockstar Creative Race would be on there, obviously, but just in case, since that obviously just came out last year, and like, Rockstar Creative Races are pretty much older stuff, obviously, you know, so obviously. And obviously your other airstrips are going to be like Grand Smart Desert and Grape Seed. So there's not many top speed dedicated areas in this city, like, map. And I know it shows like the hot ring vehicle with like the like kind of stunt track looking stuff. Like, yeah, I know that one's on like the airport or something, I think, but yeah. I think pretty much every course is a city course, nothing like stunt really like at all, if I recall right. Contrary to like that possibly misleading like thumbnail thing. And then how do you know what the race course is going to be if I'm not going to the actual race course? You can do square for start job. That would be X on Xbox, and then whatever key it is on PC. Also, I think you can do like right on D-pad if you're like on the physical Corona, I think as well, if you're looking at the actual peak Corona, if you're out like Michael's garage area from like single player, I think it's where that's at. I think that's where that's at. But if you're on a pink Corona, you just do right on D-pad, I think, and if you're doing a quick join on the phone, so you can also join it that way too, I believe. For the 3 different ways I know of, at least you can join it. Otherwise, yeah, once you do that, you'll be put into the lobby screen, so you get the name of the race. And then you can do the same square X and Xbox, whatever key and PC, that shows you like the map of the race as well, as I showed like last stream, for example, of like the community series race I did that was new or whatever for that week. So if you want more detail on that, go to that part of the last stream, I guess. But yeah, you literally just do the start job button on the lobby screen. And also, you can also do it when you choose a vehicle as well, if you forget to do it on the lobby screen for some reason. Probably so when you see a vehicle, you might remember performance easier if you have that guidance or something. Plus more for the players that do on call, like for the quick join on the phone. Then that's kind of technically their own option to do, I guess, when they're.
You're the one who fucking walked.
Alright, so all GT, Kush Weed, whatever. Vehicle is from Simeon, Simeon. ID business, okay. AK to document Forgery to sound like the 2 times my RP right now. Cocaine, whatever. Oh, it's Taurus 4 every day, Wednesday or this time around. Looks to be cat, rabbit, and hen. Cats you find pretty much all around the city and like alleyways and stuff, I would imagine primarily. You can also find a cat, I think, for the firefighter jobs now, I believe, as well, and I'd assume that would probably count. Since obviously it would be like a cat model kind of thing, so I'm sure you could take a picture of that if you're doing firefighter jobs. You're going to have an easy spot with that. Guaranteed if you're having a hard time like, finding it or something. Rabbits. Those are pretty much in like Monwood Hill kind of areas, like Chile Mountain State Wilderness, Mount Chile, had all the like huge, densely populated animal areas of the game, I would say.
Totally, you look great.
And then hen, you would probably find like the grapeseed farm or like something like that, basically. Probably some like deserty like, farmland areas or something. So I think that whole lineup is actually pretty easy. The one bird kind of one isn't actually that bad, at least this time. It's like a land. It's kind of a bird that's stuck on land, of course. So yeah, it's actually a real easy set this time if you wanted to complete it for PlayStation 5. That's why I seriously / SPC and it's only for animals in free mode, of course.
Hey, you're supposed to call.
Alright, so the vehicle. Is this the Benefactor Schlagen GT from Marine Wars DLC? I think it is for sure. I think. That's the only thing I could think of that would be, I think. Definitely check the stream another time here, just make sure things are working fine. I shall. Or do the spin. All that stuff, and obviously even forward spin, take the visitor bonus even.
Ready to fill that void in your soul for a moment? Shop for the hottest new fashions at the casino store.
Sorry, I was still looking at something like GT Series videos coming post, like after I was checking the stream, by the way.
Welcome.
And again, my phone's charging to the side of me, so it's hard to reach and
Just
stuff,
let
so
me
it's
know.
gonna take me some time before I get back into something.
See you again soon.
The 1,000 visitor trip bonus gets me to 1,656,939 chips. Okay. You might at least one wheel spin, pretty much guarantee my only one wheel spin at the event, since I'm doing it on Wednesday basically now. Yeah. Clothing. It's literally already just on clothing when it started. Black that diamond. Black the diamond LST. If that's at the casino store, it actually might be a new clothing item for me. No lying about that. Low key, it actually might be a new clothing item for once for me. If it actually can pull stuff from the casino store, then it actually might even be a new clothing item for me. But if it is something from the regular clothing store, I think I pretty much have everything up to like 2020 or like 2021 or something. From like launch of the game or something. From like some of the Carpico High School grind I was doing, that was pretty much where I stopped buying grinding once I hit like Arena War outfits or something. Which I know is 2018 DLC, but I think for basic clothing items I went all the way up to like 2021 or something. But I have a lot of stuff, pretty much just about a lot of stuff there that could be in the pool of clothing. Or like Casino Resort DLC and before. I don't think they update that list or any newer clothing items, because of course they probably don't. But yeah, it is in fact the Benefactor Schlagen GT as I was looking at on the, like, on that community post from GT Series videos, of course, again, because the Newswire, there's no new Newswire this time. It's just on the older Newswire for the little, like, upcoming section or whatever for the next weeks. There's certain details for the next week, but not all of them, obviously, of course, so. That's why I'm doing this stream in the first place. Unlike, say, unlike, say, Reddit Online, obviously, I didn't mean to go that far down, whatever. So, Benefactor Schlagen GT, if you do get the vehicle, is a $1,300,000 vehicle. Yeah, $1.3 million vehicle, basically, for the Benefactor Schlagen GT. It did have a livery support on it as well, it looks like, so that would probably add another 20 for the case savings, even to like 20 for 30,000. Trade prices from that update, I believe, are pretty much limited to Arena War vehicles, so this definitely does not have a trade price. It is definitely only the one price it would even ever have, really. Unless it's on like a discount or something, obviously, which it's not. So it definitely save like an hour to an hour and a half of grinding at least, for as long as you keep the vehicle stock, obviously, and that's all you really get is a stock vehicle from these, obviously, besides for a livery select on it or something. So yeah, the Schlagen GT, how does that perform at 74? For the game, in terms of laptop top speed versus sports class in this case, I'm 100% certain on that. I'm not on that. And yes, I'm still on the spreadsheet, especially when my like phone is like to the side of me, charging and stuff. So I want to find that and stuff still. Alright, I found it. It looks like okay. Yeah, looks like the Schlagen GT is a E-tier sports car according to roughly 1322's vehicle spreadsheet, which is for 45th place for lap time and 26th place for top speed. And there's like 117 sports cars in the game, and I don't think this update added any new sports cars. With all the cars in this update, I don't think there was like any like straight up sports cars, especially with like the sheer size of the class at this point in the game. So I think all that's still up to date, since spreadsheet says that the last update I think is still. And I don't believe the spreadsheet's update for the latest update yet. Yeah. So like 45th and like 26th, there is 6 HSW vehicles, which would at best bring it to like 20th place on top speed, which is out of the 10s like altogether. So while its performances are actually above average for the class for both lap time and top speed, there's obviously just much better options to use, especially in a lap time department, which again is a much more important metric for your racing and all that kind of stuff on average. So I honestly probably wouldn't recommend this one too highly nowadays in the game. So get it if you want. When I say it's not that worth spinning for, honestly though. And since they make it where you have to wait 24 hours after a spin, I don't usually recommend spinning. I don't really spin it besides for like once a week, since they make it that predatory, of course. They could put the daily ejector timer, and that would be like a lot better, but they just don't for some reason. I feel that's how it should work, but it just doesn't for whatever reason, for whatever reason. Which is weird, because I think that would be like the more realistic way to do it too, for like a real life casino. You're not going to say, oh, you spun at like 11:50, like 9 p.m. or like 58 p.m. or something. You have to wait till like 11:58, 11:59 the next day to do it. I don't know. It seems fucking stupid to me. That's the daily check-in timer. I've always been pretty annoyed by that. That's why I refuse to spin it more than like once a week on average. On average. You know, I probably should, because there's a really rare chance of getting something crazy that's unattainable otherwise for like a very specific vehicle I would want in the game. But I just never go for it because it's such a low chance anyways. Alright, so here it's a Carrying 190Z, I believe in the Team Value DLC. What else? Car Meet, and Die for AGT, I believe it was actually in the last Team Stay update, right? From like October 2014, I think. Single player vehicle as well, so you can actually test it out there before. And Grotty Covers there is a day one story mode vehicle it is, yes, a day one single player vehicle, September 17th, 2013, the Covers there. 190Z, I believe, is a sports classics, and I think the other two are sports cars, aka they're in like the most popular class in the game, and therefore I probably won't find too much placement for performance nowadays, really don't. I think these are all frequently vaulted vehicles. Vaulted vehicles have some tendencies to be some of the worst performing vehicles in the game. Obviously, they got vaulted at one point because like, they were probably very, very unused, I'm guessing. But yeah, like the 190Z Sports Classics is dominated by like the top sports classics are dominated by like old school supercars at the top of the class. I mean, you know what I mean? And yeah, sports cars have been power crept so much over the years, especially 17 sports cars. I doubt these perform that good nowadays. For like kind of estimation on the performance of these, obviously to get through a bit quicker. And on to remove vehicle states. On to yes, remove vehicle states. I seem to see the usual amount of 8, so I assume that's all 3 slots here, of course, like it is, and then all 5 of Simeons, I think like it usually tends to be that way for like where all the vaulted vehicles would be for the event. Alright, so apparently the number I'm about to go through will apply for both the 190Z and the Forgery GT that's immediately after it. Yeah, Carrying 190Z, as of Sandra's Mercenaries DLC, that came out in summer 2023. Within the last like 2.5 years of the game or so at this point. Since being vaulted, it's appeared 11 times. Same goes with the Carbon Zero, that's appeared, or not the Carbon Zero, but I mean the Forgery GT, that's appeared 11 times. In the last 2.5 years since being vaulted on different dealerships for different dealership appearances to give an idea of the appearance rate of them. So not bad for appearance rate, I would say, for these two. Meanwhile, the Carbon Zero is at one time, less than 10 times. Oh, and also, I just thought of something with the Carbon Zero also, by the way. Carbon Zero is also like a cheap armored Kuruma, because for whatever reason, the AIs have a hard time of shooting you in the Carbon Zero. For whatever reason, I remember the AIs have a hard time shooting you in the Carbon Zero, so it's kind of like a cheap armored Kuruma where they have a hard time shooting the windows, but they're not actually bulletproof windows. The player will shoot them, like, no problem, like, at all, basically. It's more the AI, I think, that has the problem with that, if I remember right, like shooting the side of the Carbon Zero for AIs in particular. in particular. I don't know why it works that way, but for like a little over $100,000-ish or something, I think you can get a vehicle where like it's harder for AI to shoot you for whatever reason. So it is an interesting vehicle in the Carbon Zero, I will say. You know, it's like an older vehicle for that interesting gimmick it has. That I don't assume is intended, honestly. It's kind of just broken that way. In a good way, though. In a good way, though. And then the prize ride for the week is the Albany Cavalcade XL. This, I believe, was added in the Chop Shop DLC, if I remember right, on the Cavalcade XL. I don't really think it's performance heavy, if I recall, in the SUVs class. SUVs is dominated by, like, kind of sporty SUVs, like the Tauros and the Astron. Yeah, Taurus, and the Astron, as well as not to mention HSW vehicles, obviously, if you're on newer platforms as well. So, Cavalcade XL very much is not going to be a top tier SUV, I would say. Right away, I will say that. And for whatever reason, this vehicle requires you to place top 1. So I recommend doing like a street race, obviously a 2-player street race, and try to win it, basically. Gives you up to like half chance of winning there. Yeah, pursuit races are 4 players, so there's only like 25% chance at like best. Not a good method for this time around. Again, street races are 2 players, you have like half chance, the best chance you'll really be able to get. Dragon Trip races, I assume, don't count. I've only played those ones solo, but I assume they do not count since they're newer 2023 and the prize ride system exists in 2021 and don't really like tend to go back to like older content and work with like newer content in the sliders. It seems all that much on average though. I'm not really sure if we can do the free mode sprint races or not, but either way it'll be 2 players on street races pretty much at like best, so like that's still like percent chance, just maybe Stacy Trip going to separate lobbies or something. But I'm not really sure if those ever count or not. More likely than the Dragon Trip races, to be honest, since it came out in 2021 as well, but still though. And then going into the Southern Sandra Super Autos website, I believe this one's something on. It's either 4-door or luxury, I would guess, on that one. Somehow it's 4-door, not luxury. I find that to be weird. Could even fit into both, and they should have certain ones on multiple categories, kind of. I don't know. The whole website removal thing and like the rearranging of the websites was kind of dumb in my opinion. Like, especially on Stubborn where they have like certain like sections that just like don't really fit certain things the greatest, or like they could fit like multiple sections, or like multiple sections even like I said in the case of this one. Yeah, it's a $1,665,000 vehicle. I don't think Chop Shop DLC was really known for like trade prices as well, so like with the delivery on it, that would be like number 20 for the K for like 685 or 695,000. And again, this definitely does not have a trade price. I'm pretty 100% on that. Chop Shop wasn't really known for trade prices, I'm pretty sure. Especially because the salvage yard robbery vehicles changed by the week, so I don't think it was really known for some trade prices for that reason. So they want to have to keep making like the vehicles like the same like certain small pool from that update or something, obviously. Make it a lot more varied like it is now. Yeah, the vehicle does have missile lock-on jammer availability, so it is a huge SUV, so that does help. It is a huge target. It was already a huge target, honestly, so that will help it in some capacity at least. Yeah, Cavalcade XL. Apparently it's at the bottom of the C tier. It's yes, apparently at the bottom of the C tier of the SUVs class. Giving it a 20th place in lap time as well as a 32nd place top speed. I want to say top speed is probably below average for the whole class of SUV. It looks like. Yeah, there's only like 52 SUVs, so 32nd is a below average on the top speed. So one metric is really just not that good, like at all, I would say, really, at all, I would say. Yeah, even if you took out like the Ford or so HSWs, that'd only be like 28th or something, I think, even on top speed. So out of the 10s, like without taking out HSW, where it's in like the middle of the 10s for lap time, which isn't all that bad. So it can be alright for lap time if you're big on collecting like Cavalcade vehicles. Cavalcade was a vehicle introduced in GTA 4, not the XL. I don't think the XL was actually in GTA 4 at all. It's the original GTA Online. I think the XL variant, however, though. The XL variant, I think from what I remember, is actually online exclusive for GTA Online. And was not in a prior title, though. But still, if you're nostalgic for the Cavalcade, like branding or whatever in GTA or whatever, it's kind of a cool vehicle to get, I guess. But yeah, otherwise, just get it for them as a lock-on jammer. It's like the best feature about the vehicle, really. Aside for customization for preference or something. It's not really going to change anything, like performance-wise, for any of your SUV races or anything. Most likely. At least compared to some other SUVs in the game. Finally, it is the end of this year's X32 HSW. One of only 2 coupe HSW, so I believe this one's for lap time, and I believe the Sentinel XS is more for top speed, if I remember right. I could be wrong there, but I think so. But either way, coupe only has 2, so one can prioritize for like one metric, while one prioritizes the other, so it's a very good one, I would say, to get a hold of for sure. And as for that vehicle, I'm not going to go out the way to go on the like website for it. So just refer to HSW vehicle list like right on D-pad if you're on an eligible platform for the HSW vehicles, of course. I assume you cannot do that on the list platforms since they don't really exist there. And a lot of the information here I think is pretty much correct, aside for the Sterling GT. It doesn't list the website vehicles since it was faulted between Seniors and Mercenaries DLC, but got brought back in the last winterization Sabotage DLC, and they haven't updated the listing for that since. I don't know if like other ones could mention like a wrong website or anything, so that's why I'd go through this list just in case. Just in case. According to this Style Luxury Motorsport, which I definitely remember it being on that site, so yeah, I'm pretty 100% done. Seems correct on that now. I don't like to say it as Sterling GT. Okay, the game is kind of mad there, like, bruh. Definitely should check my stream after that, in case it did. In case it did, though. Our stream's still working though, it seems looking good. That's all that really matters then. So awesome. Okay, my headlight did not break, so cool. I thought the headlight somehow broke on the Mark II with how inky dink it is. I mean, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie though. Down here is the Debauche Rapid GT X. Say it that way because like there's a down here GTX or something, I think, where like it's all like in one like thing, but this one has it like spaced out for some reason. That's why I say it that way. By the way, by the way. I think the way the down here GTX has it, where it's like one word actually makes sense in having GT and then X separate. Did AI make the name of it, or like what? What or what? Gotta wonder sometimes. Or is it because it's the skeleton, like, basement crew or something, like, running the game nowadays? Is that why it's 2 words for GT? X. Wait, that was the last update money from SAD, I believe, and then Approaching Leva is a new supercar that came out in this latest Safehouse and Hills DLC. But yes. The Rapid GTX, though, GTX, though, I don't feel I remember it being a top of the line performer for the sports class. Regular Rapid GT with sports, this one definitely very much was as well, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I don't remember that one being all that good. Honestly, this one kind of isn't E for when it comes to lap time, but top speed is actually pretty top of the line, like supercar for top speed if you're not able to use like HSW or something for any reason. I think it's like 7th place in like 5 of those 7 or so now, or what, like 5 of those 7 or so what are like HSWs obviously for that. When Ruffy does the performance, I think he always includes HSW in the numbering, and you obviously just have to count for not having those on your Olympic platforms, or whatever other situation it might be unavailable in. So I think it's like the 2nd best non-HSW for like a top speed right now for supercar. It's actually pretty good on that if I recall for top speed. Like on those highways and all that stuff. All that stuff. So I don't believe these are like going to be on a discount. They don't really put the luxury auto stuff on discount all that frequently, so it looks like they're full price. Especially this one, surely being in the latest update. Surely. I don't think they're already putting some of that stuff on sale, quite frankly. Especially being a Michael update, Stream is like a rich update and stuff, obviously, with the mansions, all that stuff. After that, Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport, whatever. Apparently includes the Benefactor Feltzer, which is a day 1 September 17, 2013 sports car. Same goes for the Debauche Rapid GT. Western Damon, it's not the Lost variant, I believe it's the one from the... Probably not the Lost variant, of course, so I don't think it would make much sense to have like a Lost Biker King variant in the dealership. Being a King vehicle, of course. Maybe for like, oh, it's Carmi could maybe make a little bit of sense, but in this one, probably not. But yeah, I'm guessing it's a Biker DLC once that's an online exclusive for sure. The Invetro Quit, September 17, 2013. That's definitely day 1, and same with the Overclock and TXF. By extent, the Damon kinda is, since there was a Damon in day 1 of the game, but again, I think it's a Biker's DLC variant of it, so this one's actually technically online exclusive, I believe, for that reason. It's one with delivery support, all that kind of stuff, of course. All that kind of stuff, of course. Otherwise known as the Damon Custom by the community. I think it's usually called Damon Custom. I think even Rockstar himself calls it the Damon Custom, like the Mission Courier and all that kind of stuff as well. I think it's That one, obviously, the newer one. So almost all day one vehicles in its technical sense, it kind of even is, but it's not exactly. Not exactly. And yes, I was putting up the spreadsheet again, and again, my phone's to the side of me. I'm in bed, so I have to reach a long way and stuff. Stuff. So it took a bit to get kind of on my character again, that's why. Or whatever. Yeah, this one's a sports car. I think the Rapid GT. Again, I kind of said my feeling about older sports cars. They're in the most bloated class in the game. I just really don't see like any like super old vaulted one really performing all that well, really though. Damon is a chopper, and it's like in a class dominated by sports bikes, obviously. So like I don't see that one performing all that good. No. Well, no, obviously I was just mentioning motorcycles class with some of the stuff on the top earlier for Prim race. This is another like day one sports car. Just don't really see it being all that good nowadays. Obviously, you can't overrule it that much nowadays. And then finally the overflot into XF. XF. Is a supercar. And I think this is actually the only good lap time in T, if I recall right, because I think like the XF, I think the XXF, XXR. But I think like the XXR and the MT, I think are top speed ones pretty much, where this one I think is like actually good on the lap time by comparison. Albeit this one is day one, so it probably does fall off a bit. Like, honestly, it's probably one of the more interesting ones to pick up actually this time. At least if you're looking at it performance-wise, and Supercar only has like 60-ish cars in the game for the class. And motorcycles like 50-ish or so, I think, nowadays. So those two will definitely be some of the more interesting ones to pick up, I think. When it comes to a performance standpoint, yes, it comes to a performance standpoint. My money doesn't grow on trees, it's probably the... Yeah, counter cash, right. Yeah, the faults in the quick are technically vehicles based on vehicles from like 3D universe or the HD universe from like past titles. So like if you're looking for retro nostalgic vehicles, those two are good ones to get for that reason. Honestly, I think Rapid GT, I would say, is probably the least interesting one to get, I would say here, honestly. I don't think it was in the past titles, so it's only real nostalgic from single player. Back in 2013, I guess, but like, that's not even all that nostalgic, I would say, nowadays. Not until 6 comes out, at least. And even then, that would be more for the next game, not this game. But anyways, for appearance rate within the last like 2+, not 2+, not 2+, but 2.5+ years of the game, more specifically. Feltzer was the first one, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm looking to the side of me there, so I wasn't able to see the screen. But yeah, if Vulture appears for the 10th time as a dealership appearance, same amount of appearance rate as the Carbonizzer had in Dallas Car Meet. Rapid GT. See if it's a regular or a Cabrio one. See what's on the spreadsheet, see if I agree with it or not. It's being the right variant. Sometimes I think Ruffy can mess it up. Even. Or maybe sometimes just think that, and that might not be the case. I'm not even sure. Alright, so the Rapid GT has its own appearance rate this time of 9 appearances for the 8 on the current event. Yeah, of the 8 vehicles, it has its own appearance rate of 9 appearances, it looks like on the regular Rapid GT. Yeah, I think it's not like a line in the roof, is there? I don't think so, or any of that. So I think this one is the regular one, not the Cabrio. Indeed, it looks like it was 9 appearances. 9 appearances. Assuming no error on Ruffy's part, because I noticed the Cabrio version. We had a Western Damon. I actually looked on the list, and this one actually has the least appearances of any. So even I'm not looking right now, I remember what it is, and it's at 8 appearances. So this one has the least appearance rate of any of the 8 on the dealerships this time around. Very quick. Looks at the highest of 12. So that one's appeared a dozen times of this. That one appeared a dozen times of this particular appearance. And finally, for the NTXF, it's the NTXF. That one is at 10 appearances. It looks like just like the Carbonizzer of Dallas Car Meet and the Feltzer. Indeed it is. So that's all the different appearance rates. This one was 10, 9, 8, 12, and 10 it seemed. I think that's what I remember being. And if any of those numbers are wrong, refer to my first numbers I provided for those when I was going over it more slowly, since those would be the right numbers. 90, I might have messed up like the last time there. And I think the others were like 11, 11, and 10. So it's 10, 9, 8, 12, and 10, I believe, for the appearance rate of these 5, though. Again. I made an error on the last 2 times saying it here, but refer to the first times I've said anything on those, so for those numbers, appearances, for those. Check my stream again, make sure things are going fine, of course. Okay, good. I should be inconsistent sometimes, though, so obviously I'll be checking now.
Michael, I really don't want to cut funding. I know they're really close to turning the corner on this. I should have said, you'll be richer. Hey, what's up? Hey, buddy.
Okay, so I do want to kind of go over the Community Combat series for this week. Basically. I'm not going to play any of them since they're guaranteed to be like 2 players unless like survival or like mission or something. Unless you're like a survival or mission, I'm not gonna be like playing any of them. However though. And it looks like that's not going to be the case. Okay, so it looks like I'm not playing any map on stream. I'll play them off stream. Especially since it requires like other players. So deathmatches has hashtag rub, oil rig rampage. For team deathmatch it looks like. There's some left bracket, hashtag ML9. Right bracket. Love Hearty Sumo. There's another one. And that's a regular deathmatch, not a team on that one. I see there's King Hills in there. I might skip that till later though. I don't know why they showed everything into deathmatch sometimes, but it's kind of weird. At least for King Hills they do. I don't understand why they do it that way though. So after the fourth one on the list then is like, if one's bracket, what's the other one? Not parenthesis, that's the one without like that fancy stuff. I'm even trying to like remember, but I just feel like I cannot honestly on top of my head or anytime like soon even. But whatever, it's the left version of that symbol, dog, like right version of that symbol. I cannot seem to recall like by name what that would be even. Vehicle deathmatch. And yeah, I'm not gonna hover over those since my streams do not tend to like the reliably show images that well, like with inconsistent internet and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was the left symbol thing, like dog, right symbol thing, vehicle deathmatch. Skipping another one to like the sixth one on there now is DM Maze. For a team deathmatch, which yeah, vehicle deathmatch by the way was a standard deathmatch. DM Maze is a team deathmatch though. The one after that is King of the Hill, so I'm skipping that. So after that one is Maze deathmatch for team deathmatch. After that is Limbo or whatever for team deathmatch. Apparently I played that one particularly at some point when it was on there. And finally, Western is the last team deathmatch or actual true deathmatch one. It's like 5 team deathmatches. With like 2 regular deathmatches. Last team standing, I don't know like why these are separated when you know it's not. And mixed in with deathmatches, it's a little weird, but whatever. I have like the left bracket G, right bracket bowling versus RPG. Looks to be one of them. Left bracket J, JG, P7, right bracket hyphen trust underscores versus underscores BMX money icon. And after that is RPG versus Insurgent versus Train. So those are your 3 last team standing ones, and your 4 King of the Hills have to be your last ones here. So like 14 maps, it looks like double the usual, like 7 I feel like you should do sometimes. But yeah, this one is left bracket Yo, right bracket Atomizer, King of the Hill. And then 4 Wheels Hills, double chance. And then like 13 in Roman numeral, like XII 13. Dot Citadel or whatever. But asterisk at the end. Asterisk or whatever at the end. That one I've played before apparently. And by deathmatches I don't play team deathmatch, and then yeah, that's just a bit all guess. I've only actually played 2 of those before, apparently. Like off stream or something interesting. But yeah, I would mention what the new map would be. I would mention what the new map would be, but last week when they mentioned one, it was just the one that was like platform exclusives. I don't want to like try to provide misinformation or anything, so I just don't necessarily want to say it. I don't know. I don't know. Let me kind of maybe mention it. Said something about like the G bowling versus RPG apparently, but at Gecko 87. That was on last week's Newswire, and I'll see this particular week of the kind of event one for whatever. But that might just be one that's only on like mentioned platforms and not necessarily even a new map or whatever. So it might be that for a new map, or it might just be one that's on a newer platforms only. I'm not actually sure, given how they went about it last week. That they mentioned the one that wasn't like the new map basically, as I proved it when I played the actual map. That wasn't the one mentioned on the news where like at all basically. I already kind of mentioned stuff by the way with like something. Yeah, I also kind of mentioned something I believe, like about like 3 times money and RP obviously on like death matches. I said it might be some adversary modes earlier, I believe, where you might get like a couple $100,000 an hour, like if you're playing efficiently and all that kind of stuff, obviously, and get lucky and actually win against everybody and everything. So obviously you might want to put like team deathmatches easy to try to get better monies, and unless you're like the best deathmatcher in the world, that might be a bad way to go for those standard deathmatches. Or something that's more solo or something. I kind of mentioned what I wanted to mention for document forgery cell missions, I feel, to be honest. There is 2 times research progress for the bunker research missions, apparently you can get. So, yeah, for those that were originally around for bunker, I think it is newer content, so people might not forget like what that is, but you call Agent 14, I think, for that. I actually got a plus promotion on that garage, I guess, whatever, or something, with the Mark II or something. Yeah, guessing that's why that was there, but yeah. The Agent 14 again, I think you can get those missions from.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently these research missions give you 2 times research progress right now.
Well, that was pointless.
Huh, you fiend, but you don't seem to know what I'm doing it for, fool. But yeah. Yes, so there's 2 times research progress from the bunker research missions, whatever, so if you need any remaining research done, that's a really good time to do it. Quite frankly, there's so many of it, and you should probably be doing like cell missions and stuff from the bunker. I just recommend paying for the research, honestly. I feel paying for the research and just making money for the bunker itself is just better to do. Especially since the Caprico Heist came out, I think it's the best way to do it. At least when it was good to actually grind and all that stuff in every way, shape, or form it used to be. I think I would still probably just do it that way so you can just make money from the bunker instead. So I honestly don't even feel like those research missions are that worth it, honestly. Unless you want to like do like research for your bunker and not make money from the business side of your bunker. Like if you don't have to do that like right away or something. And finally, it looks like the last money opportunity is the 3 times money and RP on Gerald contact missions.
Talk to me.
Gerald contact missions. So let's try to pull or something. I guess. Should probably also check my stream again, make sure it's going fine, of course, if I'm not doing that anyways, or something, going back on my, like, Safari, from, like, YouTube community post on, like, the YouTube app or something. So going on a list of Gerald contact missions, there's learning the ropes alone and learning the ropes, but I don't think those are playable, so I think those don't count, I believe. And I think all but one are solo missions, I think, as well, I believe, so Gerald missions are pretty good. Ron had like 2, I think, that required multiple players, at least one I think required 4 players, which made Ron's like 4 times, or whatever they did like a couple weeks back or something. Not really too good, honestly. And he didn't have any like newer contact missions where Gerald actually does have newer contact missions. So for day 1 missions, Gerald has peer pressure, death metal, deal breaker, blood in the Ellis River, methed up, no hay bronca, gassed up, hit 'em up, violent duct, hard labor, war and pieces, mash and grab, and find distant dirt. And that was in rank order as well, so as you get down that order, if you go to the ones I was saying like last, you get more money off of rank, I think, sometimes as well, or something. And I say day 1, but there was a couple from like High Life and Independence Day, but those still are on the order pay system, I think, on like stuff like Gerald's Last Play, which will pretty much be some of his best ones to be playing, if not even his best missions to play. And also, Chimash and Grab is 2 players, by the way, in particular, but it is like his second highest rank one for his day 1 missions as well for Chimash and Grab. So if you can do Chimash and Grab, it's kind of nice for a day 1 combat mission, but this there just seems to do better for that anyways, though. And that is soloable for just dirt compared to that, even. So only has 1 mission that's not soloable, and that's Chimash and Grab for Gerald.
Get your money. Stop calling me.
And finally, you have his Last Play missions, which...
The check is in the mail, dog.
Yeah, honestly, for those, I'll probably just use the career progression menu to go over those. Since those would be in, like, the story order, I'm guessing, and not in, like, alphabetical, I'm guessing. Because I believe there's kind of a story too, even though there's no, like, dialogue in the missions. I think they're just, like, text dialogues or something. So yeah, the ones on this menu will definitely be the, like, main ones you want to play, basically. These are the ones that have the, like, better, like, pay. These ones, yes, have the better payout systems and all that kind of stuff. Really. So just make ends meet, go figure, fast pedaling, deal with it, bad companies, and end product. I know end product's in the final mission, and then I know make ends meet, I think it's definitely the first one, so yeah, I think it's in the intended order there. Make ends meet, you have to go in, like, the, like, slaughterhouse, I think, from, like, Michael's, like, mission or something, or the mission where you rescue Michael in, like, story mode or something. And you take something from, like, a safe or something, you crack, like, a safe, and you, like, complete the mission. It's pretty easy, fun mission, I would say. Pretty easy if you use the Deluxo, I think is what I tend to use on that one, I believe. I believe it's a pretty easy mission if you use the Deluxo, I believe, for sure. The one with the action figures, I don't really like that much, the Go Figure, whatever it's called. The action figure one is honestly not that great, I would say, honestly. You have 3 different possible locations for action figures, so there tends to be like 30 or so locations or something like that for the action figures. I think it's based on what set of locations you get, so you kind of narrow it down to 3 if you know like what you're looking for, like doing all that kind of stuff on the internet and all that kind of stuff, but yeah. I don't know, it's just quite a tedious mission. I think it has like a low rating. If you look at the mission, like it will have a very low rating, and that's kind of why. So I don't recommend Go Figure, whatever one that has it collecting action figures. That one's not really that good. Unless you just want a mission that lasts like a really, really long time, then it's a really good one to get like better time payout. But usually it's just better to complete missions as quick as possible so you can get to the next mission quicker. You tend to make more money doing it that way anyways. So like I don't really recommend doing Go Figure regardless though. Fast pedaling. That's the one where you go into like the biker businesses, right? I think so. Where you have like the wheat farm or like something you have to go into, etc., etc., etc. If I remember right, there's one where you have to go into like interiors. I mean, that's fast pedaling right there. That's actually a pretty fun one, I would say. I think that one's pretty good to do for fast pedaling in. Fast pedaling in. But yeah, deal with it. Deal with it though. Deal with it in bad companies honestly might be pretty fun to do as well. One was the one with like the construction site where you like kill people, right? Like at the end there's like a construction site you kill people at. Was there one where you had to like find stuff or something, you know, like maybe smaller construction sites or like some neighborhood you had to like find like trucks or something, I forget. Honestly those both might not even be that bad. If I had to choose one of those over the other, it'd probably go to like bad companies. Over deal with it if I had to choose just one of those to grind. And end product being the final mission is kind of the hardest one, so if you are willing to have some difficulty, end product can be pretty good. I think I used Deluxe on that, I could be wrong. Deluxe is just like a really good contact mission vehicle if I have mentioned that one quite a couple times at this point, but yeah. Can't remember each single one, which vehicle I use, honestly, but Deluxe is good at for Deluxe is pretty good for at least a couple of those. But yeah, these missions will pay the best of any of the Gerald missions since they have more update payouts. But in one of the recent updates, I think they even like buffed some of the contact missions, like the newer ones, like the last play as well, and like the last year or so, even after its initial release. So yeah, yes.
Hey, you my dude, right? Already, man.
So I basically mentioned every single mission is a thing. I think I mentioned like 13 or so missions that were like day one, I think. And that was excluding the ones that were like tutorial ones or something. I think if not, then it was like 11 or so. And then he has like 6 last plays. So that's quite the variety of missions. And also, you can also do the playlist method, I believe, by the way. So create. If you go to missions, I think it's only like versus missions, like it kind of suggests there and all that kind of stuff, and all that kind of stuff. In the early days, they might have had contact missions for that as well, but yeah. And in the early days, they might have had contact missions stuff for that as well, though. But yeah, contact missions were the like easier way to make money back in like 2013, 14, I think. So yeah, they really like I think they nerfed them in a sense, but you can still make playlists. It's just more tedious to do than it might have been at launch. If you recently played them, you can add them in recently played jobs or something, or something. Like the creator contents in mission, for example, those show up there. Works basically like that, but if you play in the Gerald stuff, they'll let you add them to the playlist. You play it first and then you add it to the playlist. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, like play them in the first place, add them in the playlist in the first place or whatever, then you can also Then I think you can also go on the Rockstar Social Club and try to find like a playlist for Rockstar Social Club or whatever instead, and like download it to your game or something. Whatever you do, whatever you do. But I recommend doing it the in-game way so you can make your own playlist however you want to, of course, obviously, because not everybody's gonna like all the same missions as other people, most likely. At least in some cases. At least in some cases, or certain people might be like certain missions like more than other. Might only put like their one favorite mission or something, so like 3 of them or something. For like the last plays, for example. So I think doing it in-game way just works a lot better than doing it for the social club nowadays. Probably should check my stream again, just in case. Very much just in case. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. What the hell, dumb touchpad? God, all because I'm having to look at my phone on my bed while it's charging and stuff and all kinds of stuff. Come on, man. Come on, man. Fuck ass body though for stomach hernia though. Can you knock that shit off already, man? Like, fuck though. But as a reminder though, the Gerald stuff I was mentioning is 3 times money RP in particular. For that stuff for like triple money. So you can definitely make some pretty alright money on contact missions for sure. For sure. Especially if you do the playlist method and you can play them a lot more efficiently and like quickly and stuff. But yes. Ammo is 50% off. I mean, it's ammo like obtained in like any way, shape, and form. As long as you buy it, obviously, would be 50% off. Or it'd be for the interaction menu, where it might cost a lot more for convenience versus like somewhere like the lobby screen or something, where maybe less cost. I'm not really sure. I'll probably include ammo you bought, the gun ban, all that kind of stuff. All that should be 50% off, basically. There's a couple 40% off discounts I want to mention. There is a property one that's 40% off that I can't exactly show the greatest on like a website, since you have to go for the open road. since you have to go for the open road. Since. Tongue twisty ass bro. Body burps on her now. Come on. But yeah, the open road website, whatever though. Yeah, that website requires me to be MC, I think, and would require me to go to actual property of mine. It's not a website you get in game. You have to go on the. It's not a website you go on the phone. You have to go to the MC Clubhouse or something. I don't really go to my MC Clubhouse. So I don't really have a reason to want to show that, so I'll just mention it for like the pause menu or something, or something or something. I'll try for businesses, bikers. There's bikers. But yeah, document forgery offices are 40% off discount alongside modification, like renovations, I believe, as well. Which I think there's only really 3 of those for a document forgery office. And that's going to be your staff, equipment, and security upgrade. For the longest time, it was mostly, honestly, the staff and equipment that really mattered, but now with the latest update, if you have security for your business and the mansion security, actually guarantees your business is no longer to get it guarantees your businesses, yes, no longer get raided. So I do highly recommend getting the security upgrade now more than ever as of this latest DLC, since the mansion security and the business security actually prevents the raids 100% entirely. Apparently. Also, it turns out Mark II weapon upgrades also look to be 40% off for like conversions of like Mark II weapons. I wonder if those actually show up in like list form on like special interests and like weapons expert. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't know. Oh, they do. Okay, they do. That's awesome. That's awesome. So all 12 of the Mark II weapons, a pistol. Fuck his body for some kind of. Come on now. Fuck. Yeah, there is 40% off at the Mark II conversion cost for all 12 of the Mark II weapons, being a pistol Mark II, SMG Mark II, assault rifle Mark II, carbine rifle Mark II, combat MG Mark II, heavy sniper Mark II, pump shotgun Mark II, special carbine Mark II, SNS pistol Mark II, marksman rifle Mark II, heavy revolver Mark II, and the bullpup rifle Mark II. So I was kind of mentioning a good bit about marksman rifle already because of the precision rifle discount. I do really like the marksman rifle Mark II since it can lock on with holographic sight, makes it really good lock on sniper. Even better in that precision rifle to the point where I literally put in my gun lockers so my regular sniper rifle gets ammo each time in like a new lobby, like I kind of mentioned earlier. SMG Mark II can maybe be a little interesting on like a motorcycle in particular. You can use the assault rifle Mark II, carbine rifle Mark II, combat MG Mark II, maybe even heavy sniper Mark II. Has like drop by weapons and like very particular like vehicles, like helicopter side seats and stuff, like I kind of mentioned earlier. I think. When talking about the tackle SMG, pump shotgun and heavy sniper are the only 2 to have like any sort of explosive ammo type. Like the explosive rounds down there, those are the only 2 to have those like at all. Explosive rounds are really for the sniper though, but shotgun, like explosive slugs, I think is what's going for pump shotgun Mark II, technically speaking. Heavy revolver Mark II, I think, has a guaranteed chance of setting enemies on fire with the incendiary rounds. At least that weapon has like guaranteed set like enemies on fire when you do that, I believe. The Heavy Sniper Mark II might be that way too, actually, if you want like more of a one-shot sniper, since I know like I I I know they nerfed the explosive rounds on Heavy Sniper where you can't like one-shot anymore, I believe. So if you need one-shot on like Heavy Sniper Mark II, you could actually go incendiary rounds, and I think those have guaranteed chance to set enemies on fire as well. So funnily enough, the incendiary is like the better one for one-shots now instead of explosive for like a player snipe, at least if you don't have any interest in sniping vehicles. When there's like the railgun and stuff already, I guess. That's pretty spammable in its own right, and even more so than the explosive sniper. If you do that like ammo box trick for 1,000, get from 0 to 20 on your railgun ammo. In reality, all the Mark IIs are good. That's just the highlights I want to mention, basically. Basically. Ammo types, I'm not really going to recommend ammo types. It's really just Mark II conversions. It's not really saying the ammo. Like, yeah, ammo is on discount. I'm not sure if that includes Mark II ammo. It didn't really necessarily say Mark II ammo discounted. On the GT Series videos coming post, I'm not going to assume that. But pretty much all of those are good. Or at least almost all of those are good, at least.
We're looking at Tuesday, right?
Vehicle discounts I'll still mention for later, I think, since I got some other stuff I want to kind of go through before vehicle discounts. I think. Going to register a CO here for a brief moment, and yeah, priority file is the black box file, so being like $155,000, it is $310,000 for this 1 week, but you can only do it one single time. Not a bad one to have priority files, since if you do actually grind these consistently, you can actually do the normal grind of like fine art and product breakaway. That's like the best grind you could do for the FIB files like altogether, so having those be doable multiple times is kind of a good thing. So having black box on priority, even if it is one of the worst couple to do, is only kind of a good thing, not gonna lie. On average at least. Then I think that would get me making my way to the salvage yard up next for the vehicle there. I don't believe there's going to be a clean vehicle this week, but yeah. I'll go over it anyways. This does change by the week, obviously. It is the week changing thing, and that's what I would go over. 40 is event extremes, obviously, so it's part of the event basically done.
What's up? Take it easy.
And I always find it ironic I was always find it ironic it was after Stranger's first Stranger's DLC, but this one doesn't allow you to like register CO or MC like from the computer. Wasn't that something that updates are letting you do? If I remember right, that was the case, I think. Instead of having to do always for the menu or whatever. Yeah, if I said criminal enterprises, I mean like San Andreas mercenaries, but I think I said that actually. I think I did actually say that now. Okay, so here, the standard range vehicle this event is the Karen Boar. Off-road vehicle added during like Was it Sanders Mercenaries or was it some update before Government Prizes or something? I kind of forget actually. But like a standard car looking off-road vehicle, kind of a weird option in the off-road class, not gonna lie in a way. But anyways. Looks to be part of a gangbanger robbery this time around, the one at like the police station. With a max sale value of $251,000 and salvage value of $200,800 or whatever. $200,800, yes. After that, looks like the mid-range vehicle for the event is a current hiring Everon. Hiring version of the Everon, kind of, I guess, of the times, you know, like heist DLC or whatever. Anyways, yes, it is the mid-range vehicle, whatever, for the current event. And that one's apparently for the McTony robbery all the way in bumfuck Paleto Bay, basically. And this one has a max sale value of $335,000. And a salvage value of $268,000 exactly even. Cool. Finally, last but not least, a top-range vehicle is seen as SARR. I believe it was a one-seater car in the Dynasty Resort DLC or something. And yeah, I don't know the vanity plates, by the way, but it doesn't really matter when they're not claimable anyways. Too much. For what the vanity plates would be on these in the first place. But anyways, top range vehicle here is for the Duggan robbery, not to be confused with the Podium robbery. The Duggan one is the one at the arena. Podium, which, yeah, I think the Duggan's running the casino, obviously. That's the Podium robbery, but yeah, it's the Duggan robbery this time. And that's the one at the arena, even though it involves the Duggans. Yeah, it's at the arena. It has a max sale value of $386. It says it has a max sale value of $386,000. With a salvage value of $8,800. And that would do the lineup this time around for salvage value robberies.
Catch you later.
And after that, it looks like it's pretty much just going to be the vehicle discounts for me at this point. And it looks like there's like 9 vehicle discounts total this time, and it will all be 30% off. So every single vehicle discount's 30% off. It looks like, aside for obviously the rocket voltics, and including that, you're technically getting 10 vehicle discounts. 10 vehicle discounts. Again, I said I might go over like the rocket voltic a little bit more. So I might be doing that still. Just be aware, just be aware. I don't think there's a discount for the arena or website this time around. Benny's. I think it's looking like a no on Benny's as well. So I think Elita's is just going to be like the first discount website this time around for vehicle discounts in particular. Alright, good. Also, my stream is still in fact tap working. But yes, so the base rate is going to be the first discount I'll be covering here. Besides for the bit I've already talked about the coil rocket voltic. From the San Andreas Flight School DLC. This was actually a 2014 DLC, so I know for a fact it does not have a trade price. Trade prices were pretty much being standardized as of like 2016 with import-export DLC at the earliest, ironically seeing what the rocket voltic came out in. We're at a free vehicle right now. Before that, you didn't really have trade prices, I believe. Not counting Heist DLC. Heist DLC kind of got ones, I guess, but they're not really true trade prices. I can maybe kind of explain if there's a Heist vehicle even on discount for 2015 Heist I've seen talk about, but most likely won't be going into that. So, by getting this vehicle, you'll be saving. Again, there's no trade price for this vehicle whatsoever for the base era. $345,000 it's looking like for the savings on this one, actually, for 30% off. Pretty nice amount you get to save. It's normally like an hour of grinding, like over. I would say it's actually within an hour grinding now, or even less than an hour grind, depending on like how good you grind the game. So it's actually a very good price for it, I would say. And best of all, in the latest update for the Safehouse and Hills DLC, where they finally started adding some missile lock-on chambers to some aircrafts, you can actually get a missile lock-on chamber on the base row. See, the base row will be pretty insane with a lock-on jammer. It's a really quick jet vehicle. Unarmed jet. That's really quick with a lock-on jammer. What's not to love about that? You can just go really quick, not to worry about like anybody hitting you unless you're getting hit by like an explosive sniper or like a railgun or something. Guess we're like pretty much one of the biggest threats of the whole game of the lock-on missiles altogether. So this will be a really nice vehicle for sure to get a hold of, I would say. For that missile lock-on jammer. And yeah, it is for personal aircraft only. It's not going to be for the Pegasus ones. You have to actually own one in your hangar to take advantage of the personal aircraft features for that missile lock-on jammer for $400,000 so they can monetize it, of course. It's not necessarily the best vehicle for a lock-on jammer for an aircraft, I would say. I'd say the DX-7 Iron Mule was pretty good last week for the import-export, for example. For a DX-7 Iron Mule. Also, I believe the Alpha Z1 tends to be a better one to choose actually for a lock-on jammer aircraft. And those are even personal aircrafts as well. Those ones you can actually do other upgrades for, not just the lock-on jammer even. And like a simple respray. Maybe a couple liveries if you for the base, or I forget. Yeah, the Baser, I think, is definitely one worth keeping as a personal aircraft now, as of the latest updates. I think of the lock-on jammer treatment, for sure. So 100%, I think it is kind of worth it, not gonna lie. It is Pegasus, there's no storage limit on Pegasus. You can actually get this and be fine. Might as well get it for 800k. There's no storage limit on the Pegasus vehicles. The only storage limit would apply for putting as a personal aircraft if you want the lock-on jammer, obviously, since you only get 20 to like 40 hangar slots. 20 with just a hangar. 15 if you own Mackenzie hangar as well for like 35, and then 5 for GTA Plus. You get 5 extra hangar slots if you have GTA Plus as well. So that gets it up to 40. that gets up to 40 on the newer platforms only, basically. Otherwise, you are technically capped at 35 on the older platforms, I believe. So obviously the older platforms don't have the plus subscription. Yeah, when I was accidentally going a bit lower on the website, I went to, I think I started with at least one on Virtual Motorsport for sure. And actually, I did want to mention performance. I think on the Baser is unarmed, obviously, after all, so I should probably mention some performance for the Baser before I go further, actually. My bad. And being a plane, it's in extra classes, so there's no letter tier. Like, the motorcycles actually have a letter tier, by the way, one over those for, like, the Korean race, by the way. But anyways, in the planes class, the Basra, again, it has no letter tier. No letter tier. It is 10th place. It is very much, yes, 10th place for lap time. As well as 11th place, 11th place for top speed. Top speed. So. It does just barely cling on the top 10, and that assumes the Duster 300H and the like Titan 250D don't have like a better lap time, which I highly doubt. I assume those aren't even better at all for like lap time for sure, and top speed. Possibly as well, if we got a Duster 300H at least, that could maybe even. So like being a jet, I guess not as good performance-wise as you probably think it is, but like also it is pretty fun to use as well, especially now with the lock-on jammer. As the latest update is so fun to use, I'm sure, if you have it that way. I don't have it like that, but I assume it's just a fun experience having a really fast jet without the ability to be locked onto. Like a fun transport jet. So none of the popular ones apparently for Legendary Motorsport are on the list. Not obviously for those new ones especially that are just on here just for being like new vehicles. But not even any of the like older ones in the popular either. It's like the one I was actually looking at earlier when I was going over the Shalakin GT is actually the Nisavestra from the Team's Ice DLC. Actually a pretty good vehicle, since there's from much machine guns you can put on it as well. Yeah, it goes from $990,000 to $693,000. Now I believe it has no trade price since Doomsday Heist. I believe it has no trade prices. Yeah, Doomsday Heist vehicles. I think it goes pretty much the vehicles only in the Heist to get the trade prices, and Sylvester isn't really a vehicle in the Heist, so there's definitely no trade price on this vehicle. 100% there's not. It's not. So there's $297,000 off on the 30% discount. I see. Hasn't missed a lock-on jammer vehicle in like one of the last couple updates, and I think that means it was removed from the website and got brought back in a couple of updates, like Agent Sabotage. Money Fronts or the latest Safehouse. It was one of those three that's brought it back then, fishy then. And again, it actually does have front-mounted machine guns where you can apply it either through vehicle or jump aside. Avenger MOC. It was released in 2017, so you could technically add the 2018 arena mechanic, like the weaponized mechanic. The weaponized mechanic the arena can add as well, actually, for 2018, but it was added in 2017, so it's not written down the description. So those are at least 3 options where we can do that. But yeah, so you could technically get some use out of it in like a headhunter VIP where you can actually apply some front-mounted machine guns to it for like easy like 20-ish, like 30k or so. And of course, VIP work could always go on like an event or something at some point for like 2 or 3 times or something. So obviously on those events, you could especially get some interesting use out of a vehicle, like the Sylvester for something like a headhunter VIP work. Albeit, yeah, there's much better vehicles for the headhunter VIP work. Now, maybe I'll go over performance on this one. This is mostly a civilian vehicle. Besides for the fact that it's very much machine guns on it, though. And yeah, having a lock-on jammer does make it interesting as well to be able to use the front launch machine guns a bit easier. So I do find that lock-on jammer is pretty good on the vehicle sales front launch machine guns on it. That way you get better use of like those machine guns technically without having to worry about a lock-on. So out of extra classes, out of extra classes, I can go over the Sylvester, which is in sedans, if I remember right. Or no, actually it might be a sports classics. It's not sedans, and I think sports classics. It's definitely actually sports classics or sedans. I mean, yes, it is in fact actually in the sports classics class. My bad, it's just the wrong class. Probably because my body for some reason is messing me up. Plus I'm having to look up my bed for my phone, so I'm charging it right now. It is a D-tier sports classics vehicle, and I can see like a 16th place lap time. Yes, 16th place as well as 19th place top speed. And there's like 50-ish of those in the game at this point. Yes. Yeah, those numbers are actually not that bad, honestly, in this vehicle either. And even if the numbers are bad on this vehicle, it does at least have some combat, like firepower, of course, with the front-mounted machine guns, which is recommended anyways, so I'm definitely saying highly I would advise getting this vehicle. Like, yes, not the greatest combat vehicle, like, anywhere close, but at least it does have combat capabilities, at least. Can't really sit out for a lot of vehicles in the game. In the game. So I think that reason alone makes it absolutely worth getting. Even if it's like in the 10s. I think even with the latest update might be in the 20s, because again, I think I said earlier in the stream, the spreadsheet's not actually updated for the latest update, so just a couple of sports classics I think with better performances in it, and metrics even now. But still, I think it's above average for both ultimate and top speed for its class, though. Regardless, though. So it is pretty fine, especially with those weapon capabilities. And after that is actually the BF Raptor from Bikers DLC. So this vehicle, I actually remember they gave it away for free at one point, actually, if I remember correctly. I forget when, but I know they definitely gave it away for free at some point. So 30% off, $648,000 to $453,600. Bikers is right before import-export as well, so there is no trade price, I'm pretty sure, 100% on this vehicle. But it does have a lock-on jammer available, which I think does mean it was vaulted into like one of the last free updates for like Agent Sabotage, Money Runs, or the Safehouse Enable. It's one of those free updates. I think brought it back with lock-on jammer. Or it could also be a pre-existing vehicle that was always in force that could have just added a lock-on jammer if I wanted to as well, but it is quite a possibility it belonged to Sylvester were at one point vaulted, I think, as well. Looks like if Endor Vault was vehicles, I don't think they stayed in the game the whole time, though. It's a free-wheel sport car, which could be a bit clunky to drive, so for that reason, I think the lock-on jammer does work pretty good for this vehicle. I think it could work pretty well in this vehicle for the lock-on jammer, being a free-wheel sport car, probably kind of clunky to drive. $194,400, I think, by the way, off on 30% off, by the way, here, it looks like, from a quick calculation did in my head, by the way, But yeah, free-wheel sport car, I think, makes it a bit clunky to use, so the lock-on jammer actually is pretty good being to have for this vehicle, I would say. Probably would help it, probably could help it a good bit, no doubt. But again, I swear they've given this for free before. I swear they've definitely given this vehicle for free before, though. So anything that's not free is kind of not too worth it, honestly. Since, especially, I don't think it performs that good being a free-wheel sport car, which is kind of a rare breed. Which of course, yes, it's kind of a rare breed. And not in a good way, in a sense. So yeah, the Raptor, okay, I finally found on the spreadsheet, is apparently at the very top of the N tier for the sports class, which is only one tier below, and that's O tier. So it's in the second worst tier, and it's at the top of the tier. It's really not going to be that good for a lap time, especially. 108th place for a lap time, and 110th place for top speed, apparently. So for the sports class, that's some of the worst performance of the whole entire game. And I think, again, it's largely because it has a unique, like, free-wheel kind of build for a sports car, which usually is something you would see on, like, a motorcycle, of course. So, obviously, I don't really think it's that good. Yes, the vehicle is very, very unique, but also, unless you like a real unique vehicle for whatever reason, then it's just really not going to be that good, just looking at it for a pure performance standpoint, or for customization, first preference reasons, or like, obviously, the free-wheel uniqueness, all that kind of stuff. Lock-on jammer, especially, would be like the one true, huge good reason I was able to get it. And again, I think it works very nice in that vehicle. It's kind of a clunkier sports car to drive, after all. Alright, I looked up there was it for 2 doors at least. Just at least. Up next is actually the P-Fister Astron Custom on a discount. So yeah, it says the platform name on there, so you do have to actually have a newer platform. That's going to be PlayStation 5, in my case, the Xbox Series X/S, or PC Enhanced, or whatever. So it will have to be on the HSW eligible platform for this particular discount. You can do the HSW at the LS Car Meet for your free option, or you can also do it at the Vinyl Club Garage or the Mansion Vehicle Workshop. Those do require the $8 a month subscription to be able to do the, like, HSW in those particular areas, or whatever. And at 30% off, it is $516,000 off. Being platform exclusive, I don't think there's any trade prices for any new HSW vehicles or anything like at the initial launch and mentioned version for any of the ones that are actually platform exclusive like this one. then yes. No trade price at all, definitely just straight up about a $16,000 off 30% off discount. No lock-on jammer, it looks like just HSW purely. I think the Aston Custom is actually still one of the better ones for lap time, I believe, as well, if I remember right, for HSW at least. But I can also go for performance for the non-HSW version, I guess. Okay, so the regular non-HSW version of the Aston Custom is actually good enough for the bottom of the A tier, which is 12th place for lap time, as well as 11th place for top speed. And given you have to have a newer platform for that vehicle, you will most likely be getting at like 12th and 11th place, because there won't be that many circumstances as much then that you would have no HSW to like consider or something. or something. Looks like all 4 HSWs have a better lap time and probably a top speed as well, so 12th and 11th or whatever would go up to 8th and like 9th then. Or no, 8th and 7th actually, if it's better on the top speed by 1 actually. My bad. So you can actually get single-digit performance on any like SUV race that doesn't allow for HSW if you have like a non-HSW Aston Custom around or something. But obviously, I think it just becomes ineligible like if it doesn't have the HSW. Like if it has the HSW on it, so you can actually get one without HSW, and it could actually be good for a non-HSW SUV race. Albeit not as good as other stuff, obviously. Including stuff that doesn't actually have HSW, like the Castigator, I believe, is one, for example. But yes. And yeah, Aston Custom with HSW is actually 2nd place for lap time, just behind the Vivid Knight HSW. One of 2 SUVs that has a better lap time than this Cascade for non-HSW as well. And it even has 3rd place, it looks like, for top speed. So it even does get a 3rd place for top speed even as well. So if you put HSW on, it's in top 3 for both lap time and top speed, which is absolutely insane. Again, one of only 2 SUVs that doesn't get beat by any like non-HSW SUV for lap time even. We had Woodlander and Izzy Rally get beat by non-HSWs for lap time even. The Aston Customs 1 and 2 that doesn't even, so it's really good on any of the 2 versions of it is really good for the Aston Custom particularly. After that, apparently for Finance and Phony DLCs, the ENS ones will drop. Apparently, after that one is apparently a vehicle for all platforms. Finance Phone DLC, the ENS ones will drop. And wait, is this vehicle actually like a vehicle for like the CO tier 4 or something? Like whatever one it is, I forget. It might be. I think I'm maybe remembering that might be the case. Oh yeah, it is apparently, okay. So if you are on the newer platforms, you can actually get it for free as long as you actually do every single challenge for the tier 4. So that is an option to get it for free, actually. Actually. Tier 1 for free seems real easy if I have them pretty much done, I'm guessing. Or easy enough, since you have to sell a whole, like, warehouse, I think. Except for a whole large warehouse, of course. Of course. Of course. Yeah, if yes, you have to sell a whole, like, large warehouse. That does make it a little having to go more out the way for it, I suppose, but it is real easy to do that anyways, I would say. I would say. Really the hardest part is probably the special items, I would say is easily the hardest part. So yeah, on yes, the 30% off discount is a $270,000 off discount. And yeah, this definitely doesn't have a trade price. It's a 2016 vehicle, and it was before import-export. It was like mid-2016, not late 2016. So yeah, there's definitely no trade price on this one. Yeah, $270,000 off, no lock on jammers, so I guess it was never really true faulted at all in the game then, so that's cool. The Windsor is a retro nostalgic vehicle back from GTA San Andreas, though albeit that was more for the regular Windsor, not the Windsor drop. But if you are nostalgic for the Windsor back in GTA San Andreas, it could be an interesting vehicle to get for retro nostalgic sakes, I guess. In some slight sense. Customization, personal preference could be something for it. I think the regular Windsor had liveries and the drop did not, if I remember right. Could be wrong though. So honestly, the customization might have took like a hella hit from the drop compared to the regular Windsor, unfortunately. I think the Windsor, like regular, actually is much better customization if I'm remembering right. Honestly though, it could be remembering right. I think. Fun fact, it was also the last coupe in like 5 years until the Previan came out in like 2021, I think, in like the tuners updates. So it was actually the last coupe, and it was available for like 5 whole years. Before coupes actually had like a huge resurgence from like tuners update, like onwards or whatever. Yes, so. See, the Windsor is a really interesting vehicle for the drop, I mean. Windsor drop is a pretty interesting vehicle being a coupe. Not many coupes in the whole game exist, even. And you could even get it for free on the newer platforms if you just do the tier 4 of the Further Adventures and Finance and Bounty, which I think looks like it was the first business one on there, because, yeah, Special Cargo was the first business in the game, actually. The Indicoupe's class apparently, the Windsor drop looks like it's in the bottom of the G tier, which actually means it's really bad lap time, but I think it actually does have pretty good top speed, actually, though. But yeah, it's 20th place for a lap time, as well as 6th place, yes, 6th place for top speed versus 20th place for a lap time. Coupes has 2 HSWs, so it even would get like 4th place without HSW as well. So it actually can get top 5. When it's not top 10, it's basically top 5 as well. Even better, even for its top speed. So I think the fact that it's really good top speed alone makes it a good consideration to purchase the vehicle, or of course get it for free if you're on newer platforms. I would definitely advise you. that over obviously purchasing it. Just the only really long part is getting the 6 special items for that tier 4. The rest seem like pretty doable though. And I think it's maybe one of like 2 challenges I've heard might be like bugged as well. So like special items are actually counted as different special items versus what they actually are, if I remember right. From what I've heard on that challenge. I don't know if I've experienced it being bugged, but I hear it's a bug challenge as well. But again, still just get it for free in whatever like roundabout way you have to do. I would say rather just to get it for free anyways. It looks like that was probably it for the discounts on more sport. Alright, so Warstock definitely has something with the free discount. And again, it's not one of the 9 discounts I was like referring to earlier. Also really including the Rock Bowl ticket now, I'm pretty sure. Since I kind of already went over it basically. Basically. Alright, there is another one here actually. The Diamond Ice DLC is the Buck Stars Burrito. I still seem to have a trade price to obtain for it for the Casino Ice, just because there's like so many trade prices. I just haven't done Casino Ice enough times for some reason. Probably because like I get discouraged because like I don't really have the best capabilities to be silent and sneaky, so I just don't seem to be attached to it anywhere near as much of a staccato ice as it used to be, at least for that one. For all the nurse hit housey on that ice. So what is this, 590,500 to 14,950? 1,000, 550 or something. I think on the buy now. Trade price looks to be 450 to 315. $135,000 off, it looks like. And yeah, this one's a getaway vehicle, but I think it's kind of more unique where you have to use like a certain approach or something, like a Bug Stars approach or something. So it's more approach related rather than like a straight up getaway vehicle, if I recall, in this one. So however you do that is how you end up getting the trade price for this vehicle. And yeah, I think there used to be a trick as well where you used to actually be able to like, if somebody else had the Bug Stars thing and they actually drove it in like the area where it like would spawn in like single player, I think you actually get one for free before. I think probably been able to pay like the price. I think they patched that at like one point though, if I remember right, and it stayed patched. I think after that though, if I recall right. So eventually they got tired of letting people do that, especially like the lifeguard or something. It would be like 800k or something. I think for the lifeguard is to be. They want people to actually spend that money on those vehicles, unfortunately. I think I actually have one of these myself, actually, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but yeah. You used to actually be able to get one for free if like you had a friend like take their own over to the area with spawn in single player. It's not the case anymore, if I remember right, actually. Actually no. And yeah, unique to G-Town Line, even though it is a 2013 single player vehicle, you can actually customize it with the engine upgrades, which you can actually do in the single player, we believe. And yeah, this one's in the Vans class, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And it is in the C tier for the Vans class. Top of the C tier, as a matter of fact. Top of the C tier, as a matter of fact. Which gives it 8th place for lap time. And 8th place as well, actually, for top speed. So it's 8th place lap time and top speed. And Vans does not have an HSW vehicle in the game, so it is that placement no matter what platform you're on as well. So it's kind of an interesting vehicle, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, that is actually kind of pretty interesting of a vehicle right there. As is a very interesting vehicle for the update, for its performance and everything. And in fact, only has the engine upgrades in the online as well, and not the single player, not the single player. And Insertion Pickup I don't think is on discount, just glitched up at the moment because of a holiday gift I can redeem because I already own the vehicle beforehand. Yeah, again, the Rocket Voltic is entirely free. If I do want to go for more details, it's time to finally do that. But again, production model has the longer recharge time. Like I was kind of saying earlier, things it's like the very first Rocket Boost vehicle actually has a longer wait on the Rocket Boost than say ones that came out later. Than say ones that came out later, like the Vigilante, the Scramjet, and the Torador, for example, would all have a quicker boost. Same with the Oppressor Mark II and the Mark I Oppressor, etc. Those all came out well after, where like enough after where they were willing to like be like, oh, we're just gonna do like a actual decent cooldown on the boost, like 5-10 seconds or something, whatever it is in the Rocket Voltic. So honestly, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the weakest of the free ones are doing for free, honestly, for the Rocket Voltic, to be honest. Since it's neutered that high. Like, yeah, the Ramp Buggy and Phantom Wedge were actually even more neutered, arguably, back then, since going ramp, like, 30 vehicles before they would, like, blow up. But then, like, 2 years later, they took away the restriction of the Arena War vehicles, and therefore they're actually much better now. So if it was still, like, 2016 to, like, before late 2018, like, December 2018, and this honestly probably still would have been, like, the best one of the free, but now it's like the worst in free, I would say, for the free ones they're doing. But either way, on the trade price, they're getting like $2.8 million for free. Buy it now, you're obviously going to probably get like $3 and $4 million for free. That's pretty huge, actually. Pretty huge, actually. Yes, so saving like 2 free, possibly even $4 million for free is really, really huge, though. Really very much huge, though. And yeah, for supercar class, it is one of free vehicles that are not raceable. For yes, supercar class is one of free that's untiered and like non-raceable or whatever, non-raceable, whatever. And of those free, it's actually the worst for lap time, and even the worst for top speed. Since of course the Vigilante and the Scramjet. Since of course the Vigilante and the Scramjet are just better, since they're both boost ones that came out like later and she didn't have like restrictions on the boost all that matter or anything like the Rocket Voltic did. If it was raceable, it would actually be like a B tier, it looks like though, and it would be like in the 10s, but not like top 10, not like top 10, unless like HSW were taken out, possibly. Maybe not still though, maybe not even still though. And that's for a lap time at least. So it would probably be like a B tier if it were raceable. Which actually wouldn't be all that bad if it were raceable. Like again, there's just better rocket boost cars being the Vigilante and the Scramjet. Like I said earlier. And I'll be CO, so I can go over to VIP work a bit easier, since I'll be able to show a map this time around. Map this time around. So yeah, unlike last week's... Wait, I said Ascend, I'm in Velocity, yeah, my bad. Why did I say Ascend? I forget. Maybe it was just the name of a stunt racer. I remember that might have had a rocket voltic for like transport race or something, I forget. Yeah, So yes, my bad though. I meant Velocity when I said Ascend or whatever though. Whatever though. I think I accidentally called how to send for whatever reason. But again, I think it's actually named like a stunt race or something. I don't know, I got confused with out of all things. Might have been one that had the rocket voltic in it though. But yeah. Unlike ramped up from last week's free vehicle, the ramp buggy, you can actually do velocity solo, which is nice, which is nice. Which again, enter rocket voltic stay at top speed until time runs out to avoid detonation. So I didn't necessarily go into 100% detail on that, but yeah. When I was saying that strategy earlier, I was saying don't boost at all, or I meant to say that, but I didn't. So don't boost at all unless you have to boost. Obviously, if you do hit the low speeds and you actually have to, and you have like nothing in your way to spin it out when you do boost. And then, yeah. Yes. I think even if you do it with like associates or something, or something like air checkpoints that can be collected, reduce the time from 10 minutes to something, I forget. I mentioned that part like at all yet in the stream, but yeah, I think that's something I heard that might be possible, but I've only ever done it solo, so I can't like verify 100%, but one I've heard, at least from a professional or something, I think you can, if I remember right, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it's basically like hunting pack remix, I think, but in the form of VIP work, if I recall right. Where, yeah, you have like a bomb thing that you have to worry about detonating, but you have to be at like a set speed. Also for last week's like import-export, there was like some of the like vehicles when you store, so you have to kind of like keep it at a certain speed as well in that same update, so you had like a like vehicle work. Yeah, they had like a vehicle source mission that basically works the same way as well, and still do. I mean. Hey, my strategy about the casino, like highway. I think somewhere like near the casino there's like a spawn for the rocket voltic when you do the VIP work. So I say be near the casino, don't be like on top of it per se, because that might give you a different location, but be near the like, casino or something. And that might give you a good spawn, of course, to get to that point as quick as possible. quick as possible. And can stay on the highways, so I said until like Vespucci earlier, I believe. Or I said even after Vespucci, but it gets like confusing once you hit Vespucci. So when you hit Vespucci, might be when you hit Vespucci, you might be inclined to go on the main road instead of highway finally, but just stick to the highway. Straight through here until, of course, you get to the bridge on the map, like I was saying. I think it's like around like here, like literally the bottom parts of like the highway is where you actually finally should be at 10 minutes if you do it correctly, though. Again, that's with like as little boost as possible. Obviously, don't boost unless you have to boost to get your speed back up. Because if you boost, obviously, you're going to have like a lot more map to go through, which isn't going to be good. Obviously, it's just going to get even more confusing and like difficult to do that. And you'll have to like kind of look back to where you've been before once you get to like here or something. I feel, anyways. So already without beasting like at all, you'll have to like pee through like a vast majority of the map anyways on the highway, on the highway. So yeah, that's definitely my strategy for that. That is definitely my velocity strategy there. How I like to do it, like as quick and efficient as possible, as that's possible. Solo. So that's a free VIP work you get access to, but with the free vehicle, basically. Pretty good, actually, as well. I think it pays like 35k, which is actually pretty nice. Especially on like a double money, a triple money event or something. It does pay pretty well. But yeah, very much that does pay pretty good. Even at like the normal rates of people 35k for free mode work is actually not that bad, actually. Or at least it was before like contract DLC came out with like the pavement hits and stuff, at least. Which is kind of a new breed from like 2021 onwards, so like free mode work, but like before that, it's actually not that bad for 35k. And again, on certain events, it's especially can pretty good. It's back to Warstock, I think. That might have been the only other thing on discount, so that's for the burrito, the Buckstar's burrito. And that's obviously a free one. Where the Rocket Voltic, Rocket Voltic. The only discount that's not a 30% off discount as well for vehicle. Since obviously it's free then. And the Buzzard's a non-discount, I believe it's definitely just glitched up at the moment. Again, it's a holiday gift I can search and pick up custom, but I actually owned the vehicle before it was available as a holiday gift, so that's why it's showing like that constantly. I don't believe there's a boat, so probably just want to be stubborn and probably gonna last like 4 or so. I'm still working, it seems so good. Good. Okay, it might actually be 3 discounts left, not 4, like I said. Because they are one of Sylvester, the Raptor, Bookstar's Burrito, Windsor Drop, Astron Custom, and Baser. So I guess it's 3 discounts left on Star. Not 4, my bad. I think the Rock and Bolts part kind of just confused me in a way, since it was between like 9 and 10 vehicles or something. And having to look to the side and be uncomfortable and stuff while looking at my phone while it's charging and everything. Alright, so no popular ones, including like the older popular ones, aren't just there just for simply being like newer vehicles. Alright, so here's 2 of them already, actually, the Click Wagon and the Ratel. Both from St. Joe's Mercenaries DLC, interestingly. And this was before every single vehicle got like a lock-on chamber, that was like a new vehicle. Actually do. So on 30% off discount, it goes from 1,205,000. I definitely don't believe that's a trade price. There was discounts, I think, in the Mercenaries DLC, but it wasn't for like the Click Wagon for sure. Sure. And it goes to $843,500. It looks like. Free 55. Yeah, 355 would be like 850, right? Think so. Think so. 60. Yeah, 360. 1,500, I want to say, on the discount. It's like for the 3% discount. I think for the price difference there. And yeah, the Quick Wagon is a muscle car, like the regular Click is muscle. And yeah, I forget if I said if I checked my stream again to make sure if it was live, but yeah, I think I did, and it's like it's live still, so good now. Yeah, back over Breathy 1322's vehicle spreadsheet, which by the way, if I haven't said, every single vehicle is credited to that spreadsheet for 152, like I always forget to say. I just save out the stream just to make sure, like, people make sure, like, they know I'm crediting the source, because I know a lot of people out on the internet don't like to credit people. Yeah, Cook Wagon's at the top DM tier for the muscle car class, apparently. And yeah, there's no new muscle cars in all these updates. I think it still has the latest update. Like, correct. 75th place for lap time, as well as 82nd place for top speed, and it's actually 6 non-raceable muscle cars, which I think makes it actually the worst top speed in the game for a muscle car, at least for raceable ones, even at least. Like even with the non-raceable options, I think there are like boosted ones or something like rocket boost or something, or like nitrous boost or whatever. So I mean, it literally is it. It quite literally is the worst top speed for muscle car class in the game. So it's below average for both lap time and top speed. I just wouldn't really get this one, to be honest. Unless you want like very specific customization for preference reasons to get the vehicle or something, I just wouldn't really get it. It has some of the worst muscle car performance in the whole entire game. And the other one is actually a pretty good one, I think, by comparison. It's the Rattel off-road class vehicle. Once again, it'll actually have no lock-on jammer. This one I don't think started with a trade price, but I think a year and a half later, I think in the Agent Sabotage update, I think when they did part 2 of the Oscar Guzman buys again, that was when it finally got a trade price. I think when it was like part of like ground arms trafficking missions, I believe. So yeah, it does actually have a trade price, so it came out like a year and a half later from its initial release. And you do like a set amount of them, I believe, for like the ground arms trafficking missions when you get the McKinsey hanger, and I believe that gets you that trade price. So 404,750 and like 675, like 16,675. I think. So like a little over 420-ish thousand bucks or so around there. I don't want to go into a specific amount. I've actually been pretty good at the exact amounts so far, so I'll just cut it there. Yeah, around $420,000 off. It looks like on the trade price of the vehicle, 30% off. 30% off. Again, it's an off-road vehicle. It is very much, yes, an off-road vehicle. And it's kind of pretty good SG as well, or kind of can be, kind of can be. And it's apparently in the C tier. It is actually, in fact, in the middle of the C tier, since it's only 3 C tier vehicles, it's actually in the middle of the C tier. Which gives it 9th place for lap time, as well as 8th place for top speed. And not bad since there's 2 HSW off-roads. And I don't think there was any new ones in this update for off-road, or for off-road. I believe that gives it like 7th and 6th place, which puts it even closer to like top 5 territory without HSW into account. So the Ratel actually has single-digit placements for both lap time and top speed, regardless of the platform. Even getting closer and closer to the top 5 of off-road for both those placements on the latest platforms, or without HSW on the latest platforms for any race that has HSW SIB or whatever. Or whatever. So yes. Pretty good discount here, actually though. As long as something's like top 10, I would definitely consider it pretty good. Like, as long as something's like single digit, I consider it pretty good for a discount. As long as performance is like that, yes though. And four door. Yes, 4-door though. It's actually not in that category, it's actually a little bit later. But I was just seeing because I clicked on it actually more so. But actually the last discount was to be the classic Trogger for the off-road class. Apparently it was again only free for this, so it's actually an even better off-road vehicle actually if I remember in Ratel. So maybe actually don't get the Ratel and maybe get this instead. I just didn't go over it yet obviously, so that's why I just said what I did before. Like I saw the name in there, I just forgot, I didn't think much of it or something. It was at Incredible Enterprises DLC back in like summer 2022. Almost quite a few years old at this point. It's summer 2026 obviously, and it's like finally pretty much like 4 years old already, even. Just before every vehicle, this was before every new vehicle got a lock-on jammer, so it doesn't actually have a lock-on jammer on it. But yeah, it's actually pretty top of class actually for non-HSW if I remember right, or the Trogger. I think it actually has the best lap time for a non-HSW, so it's like 3rd place I believe for lap time then. But I'm like right there on the spreadsheet anyways, so. But yeah, this is in a DLC that could have had a trade price. I don't think this one actually has a trade price though. 42,500 and then 19,250. So, or 21,750 or something. I want to say that sounds right to me actually for the discounted 30% off. Actually. It's very comparable to price with Ratel, but I think it's actually just completely better performance actually though. Yeah, the Jogger though, is actually at the top of the A tier, which yeah gives it the first place for a long time, like I was saying. It does, however, get 10th place though for top speed. So the Ratel is actually better for top speed, but again, it's still least important metric, like I said earlier. But it is literally the best non-HSW lap time. It is actually the best if you're on the legacy platforms. It will actually be your number one if you're on the legacy platforms for that lap time. And even then, 10th place isn't even bad for top speed. It's just right below like the single digits, and it's still for the top 10. So I think it is still pretty good for top speed, even still. If like one more really good like off-road like top speed comes out though, then it will definitely be very much out of top 10 no fine for top speed, but like still though. And that would even just be on the legacy platforms, even most likely given the game's like pretty much going to be replaced by 6 at some time soon, it seems. Like this year, I feel like they'll actually hit the date if they're as competent as saying that the marketing will be in the summer. But, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that's true it though. Finally for discounts here. Discounts here. Yeah, none at all for luxury. Motorcycles probably not either, surely. Yeah, no. So yeah, that was truly it for discounts. Finally for the vehicle discounts. And I think that basically meant all discounts, since I usually do vehicle discounts last, since it's a huge section to go through, usually. So there's a lot of nitty-gritty details on the individual vehicles to go over sometimes. So. Alright, so finally, I'm going to be doing HSW time trial. Obviously with the Pupister Straw for my first time, I'll be using it on those on the Oh shit. Yeah, it might not be broken, might just not be on, obviously, since it's daytime. Doing the button actually does like the countermeasure. Oh, no, they're on the ground. That's right, actually. Sorry. But yeah, okay, it's not broken. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, going from the Mark 5 to the Straw is probably going to kind of suck, not gonna lie, since like I was really like used to be able to absolutely break the game with the performance. It's like because I was used to absolutely being able to break the game, or at least part times of that performance of Map from J Mark 5, just being number 1 of its class for full 5-time top speed is what I mean, really. Not actually truly break the game with the Map from J Mark 5. I wouldn't really say that per se, but yeah, so.
Oh yeah? Last I heard, yours was hidden behind some ass jeans.
Come on. If the 99% don't get off their ass, we'll all be fucked.
Don't worry. I got some hydrogen peroxide in my place. Got bridge.
Hello there! Hey, buddy. Well, that's cool. All right. That's okay. All right. Thanks, buddy. See you later.
So I'm gonna check my stream every time. I'll see like where we're in, just in case. Make sure I'm not doing this for no reason, of course. It seems to have worked the whole time after all the ridiculous issues I was having like right before. We're just transferring to like class for like 3 minutes even, I think, even. Not even 2 minutes, I think even.
Hey, honey. Guess what I got from the doctor?
Hola. Can't wait to catch the game at your place tomorrow. Está bien. Yo, what the fuck was up with that, dog? That shit was cool. No, what if he was making a little money on the side? I mean, we all gotta make it.
Alright, so yeah, okay. I made sure, even though I'm competent, of course, it all lines up perfectly now. I do check the dates just in case. Make sure, like, how much days it's been since, like, March 15th, 2022, actually aligns with, like, where I should be. And it does align perfectly with that. But I do just really like to be sure, just in case, just in case. So peep is your straw time. It is.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I took it a long way. Screw it. I did it a short way earlier.
So you heard about me and Geraldine, eh? Yeah. He's coming over next week.
It's coming at you.
So it'll last for the two newest ones. Time to start using that. It'll last for the two newest ones. Sorry, just to be eligible. Time to start using that, of course. Of course. Of course, five. So it'll also two newest are just subclass vehicles. People are strong, yes, and there's I swear, when I saw the headlights, I thought it would be like electric for whatever stupid reason, but obviously it's in sports classic, so I'm sure it's not. Obviously, just like old school, fancy, like 80s, 90s, like sports classics or something. Or whatever the fuck all, whatever the fuck all. I was hoping to be one that would like have a unique place in the class, but yeah, I didn't even think what the class was in about that, but obviously it's probably just another generic-ish vehicle for like the top speed, and because there's already two in there, it turns out to be the worst of them. Not being top of either of those metrics, in some sense. Yeah, it's gonna be maybe an interesting and disappointing experience at the same time, not gonna lie. But either way, I'm going to be using either way. I'm very much going to be proud to use it. I don't have much more unique options to use at this point, to be fair, anyways, but still though. Still though. Yes.
Let's go down to the range, maybe a few rounds. Hey, what's up? Hey, no, man.
Okay, so far so good. Again, this has right like area from like the what's the park area. I don't know if there was much shortcut potential as a reminder, as not a reminder. Mostly just use the GPS route, being the first one especially. Being the first one especially, it's also going to be really easy and straightforward to do. Not so shabby so far, at least. Yeah, this one has 1 minute 20-second part time. Maybe because it's class B or something. Maybe anything class B is the same part time. I'm actually not 100%. But being something like that's how you determine part times. That's why I go over just stuff like that to you, by the way. By the way. Okay, Mac gonna beat the red. Ah, what? Okay, I still didn't know that. No. Oh shit. I hit a motherfucker to do that though. Apparently. Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna drive away because the time trial like unarmed me, I guess. Of course, it got unarmed because of the time trial, so I'm gonna go. So I end up just flipping him off, I guess. I'm good. Yeah, doing the HSW time trial got me $862,241. With some idleness and stuff, I can easily hit 10 million off stream with like the celebrity, like agency, like whatever the fucking shit they call it when it pops up with the. Oh yeah, Celebrity Solutions Agency, I think that's what it's called, yeah. I have the 20k for 48 minutes set up, so that will easily get me 10 million off stream if I so desire. Maybe if I so desire. And with all the crazy stuff we've been doing lately, with like the free money, all that kind of stuff, pretty easy to do. I feel like I can get 500k over to one thing, so I was doing that like 1 in the morning though. I kind of like was busy with other things or something to where I think I got to late that day, unfortunately. But I can always just go for the other 500k ones, I guess. And also for the win-free races, I think I thought you could do solo, and I ended up needing to play with other players, I guess, and I didn't get the weekly challenge for that reason, so I'm actually screwed out of the Night Shark Knuckle. I'm actually screwed out of the Night Shark Knuckle Dusters delivery, I mean. Yeah, I haven't done it as a bad, actually. A few minutes before it's 4 hours anyway, whatever, I'll just go back to where I was. I don't usually get the AIs aggravated like that, so whatever, I'll just get there if I can. However I want to this time, really. Gee, that headlight's weak as fuck, dude. Look already. That's a drug vehicle, apparently. Interesting. But yeah, at least one of them is intact still, I guess. I guess. If it was this one or what, but honestly. With the whole NPC situation, I just don't really care, honestly. Honestly though. Not gonna lie to, not gonna lie to. And obviously just do one more check before I end the stream, make sure things are going fine, of course.
Hello, what you want now?
Yes, still. Let's be completely good, so good, none. So yeah, that would definitely funny for sure, be it for the stream though. Can't believe I had to literally fucking go out the way to do a network test, turn off my console, and then it finally chooses to fucking work flawlessly. Might have to maybe think of doing that like every stream. Can't just simply hop on the console and just hope everything works apparently nowadays. Apparently for me. If I do a network test each time, get off and then get on again shortly after, maybe that's what I need to do to get these streams to work good again. Maybe, just maybe. I don't know, my shit's just inconsistent as fuck anymore. Be like for connection and all that shit. But I'll definitely for sure find a video for the stream though. Hope you enjoyed.